God. Testing, testing. 323, 323. All right, everything set up. Be how else just in place codeine. Oh, yo, my boy, what's the word with it? What's the word? Yo, just rolling up the doinky, man. Shit, right now I'm just rolling up a little doinky. You feel me? Just rolling up a motherfucking doinky. That's about that. Yo, what's the word, my boy? Yeah, I wasn't even doing that. Wasn't even doing no music for Chris, bro. I gave up on that. Gave up on that. I'm not even gonna bap to you, bro. I'm finna bap. Bappity bap bap. I had a show right now. Yeah, you know they be over whooping with the music requests. I ain't gonna bap to you. Yeah, and I'm finna try to go up on YouTube, bro. So what I'm finna do, I'm finna post hella videos, bro. Cause TikTok pissed me off, bro. They didn't send me my fucking money, bro. And now I'm trying to figure out how to make money. Even though I'm making money through promos, but trying to make $2,000 in like 3 days is actually it's actually realistic, but it just be tweaking sometimes. Like I did it before where I had to make like $1,500 in a day. And I did it. So I still got hope that I could do it. But I'm just trying to go up on YouTube, so I don't gotta deal with doing this no more because it's like the third time I had to like make like $1,000+ in a couple days. Or shit bad would happen. And I'm like, I'm tired of doing this, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. We been confirmed UK ass with scientific results. Okay, I ain't gonna rap to you. I'm finna go up on YouTube, bro. I ain't gonna rap to you. I'm finna real life take you. I've been taking YouTube serious, but I gotta go harder, bro. I can't keep on living like this, bro, with TikTok. I ain't gonna rap to you. Nah, we're gonna rap to you. That's starting. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I got a way. I ain't gonna rap to you, bro. I'm trying to figure out. I know like some content that go up, but I'm not finna get my exes inside a video, bro. They ass be tripping. I ain't gonna rap to you. Like lots of the females I be messing with, they don't be liking the cameras and stuff for real. So it's like That'd be another thing too. I'm like, I could do content with that, bro. But it's like they ass be scary and shit. I'm like, man, I don't got time for y'all ass study being scared of the camera, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm surprised, bro. More people be scared of the camera than I thought, bro. Like me, bro, this shit like normal to me. But lots of people, bro, they be scared to do this shit. I'm like, damn. I was like, my brother, I promise you, I don't got no cassinet views or no shit like that, bro. Why the fuck are you scared? But I guess people just like scared of the camera in general, no matter if it's views or not. People just like, I'm scared of that shit. I'm like, shit. And one female said she was scared because she said, what the fuck? She said she ain't get her hair and shit done. I'm shorty. What the fuck? You scared because you ain't get your hair done? She said, what if they treat me? I'm like, shit, if they treat you, that's good for me. Shit, that's better engagement. I can make the title. Chat roasted the girl on live stream, but it's like, you know, I've been trying to do that, but it's like shit. I don't even care. I don't even care. You feel me? If they ain't gonna hop on it, bro, I'm gonna find someone that's gonna hop up on it eventually, bro. I ain't gonna back to you. But the best looking females I got, they ain't trying to hop on live, bro. So it's like I might have to hop on with the night crawlers. I ain't gonna back to you, bro. And I ain't trying to let these city females know where I stay. Cause I could have some females, but I'm not letting these city females know where I stay. I ain't no person that got the money on to get Airbnbs and all that. These motherfuckers got to come to my crib on gang. So I ain't just letting any and everybody do it though. And that's another problem. If I had the money on to get Airbnbs, I could have hella motherfuckers in my live streets. I ain't gonna bap to you. That's why I be like, man, DDG and all that, they don't really gotta worry about that no more. They inside some nice areas with the gated communities and shit. If they do let them come to their crib, I'm like, me, man, these hoes, nah, bro. And I'm low on weed, bro. My life been horrible. How the fuck I'm running low on weed already, bro? My life been getting bad, bro. Okay, life of a fucking adult. Yo, yo. But if I do everything right, I should be able to make money. I ain't gonna be able to do it from YouTube though. But YouTube is gonna be the part that's gonna give me consistency once I do get it. Uh, I'll be high out just in price. Alright. I just saw that shit. I'll refresh it, but I just read it. That's the tattoo on your neck. There's a tattoo on your neck for Naruto. Yeah, it's it's from Naruto, but it's a little bit different. You feel me? Because I got an oil bore inside the middle. I don't got the little Sasuke bite mark inside the middle. It's an oil bore around it, and then I got a kanji inside the middle of it. Now the kanji in Japanese just like shit love, but in Naruto it's like the self-loving demon who only love itself. It's the Gar kanji, the kanji that Gar had on his forehead. Reason why I got the Gar kanji is because out of all the Naruto characters, I feel like I relate to folks because it's like, folks, I used to be doing fucked up shit, and then I decided to be a fucking like motherfucking Gar. And motherfuckers think if motherfuckers who don't know Gar, you look at Gar, you be like, oh yeah, folks ain't like that. It's one of those. Till Gar get on your ass. I feel like I'm Gar. Motherfuckers don't even know. You look at Gar, you won't know any of the shit from his past for real. You won't even know that all the shit he been through. You just, oh yeah, folks sweet as hell. Gar goofy. But you look back at his past and shit, you're gonna be like, damn, Gar actually been through some real nigga shit, bro. And he decided to become a better individual instead of staying that person he once was, you feel me? So I feel like that's also like show growth and stuff too, in a way. But the Ouroboros stuff, you know, it's like the life and death thing too. But yeah, and it go all the way to my shoulder type stuff. It go all the way down on game. Yeah, we gonna do this. I'm gonna start it off with this because why not start it off with Bloodhound Lil Jeff? I see it's a little interview of Q50 going around, so hopefully I can catch a little video or whatever. Might not, might not, bro, because it's like, bro, it's like Chicago people. They be wanting me to do videos about these little badass motherfuckers, and I'm not doing them. I'm not doing no fully chopped, no none of them. Folks, they got to grow up before I make a video on them. Literally, like not grow up like they age, not grow up mentally. I'm talking about they age. They actually gotta grow up and get older before I do any videos on them. But that's what they be liking. But Lil Jeff and all them, they 18 plus. That's what we sticking with. I ain't gonna bap to you. YouTube so goofy. And we going on Twitch for show this time, so we could do like different videos and stuff. So like in the half, like and the other half we going on Twitch because I'll be like, I want to do some videos anyway that I feel gonna get some views, but I just can't do it on YouTube live. So I'll be like, I got to do those today. Yeah, I seen that. That's why I've been going viral. I don't do Vlad TV interviews anyway because he copyright strike everybody. Fuck Vlad TV. His ass a goofy. I don't do his shit because if you don't see reaction, you don't see reactions on Vlad TV stuff like that. Because Vlad TV like to copyright strike motherfuckers for the videos. But no Jumper, he don't be on that type of time. DJU, they don't do that. But DJ Vlad, folks are goofy. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't like DJ Vlad. Personally, I don't got no real reason to not like him outside of him copyright striking my video. Outside of that, he a police. He a police goofy anyway. That like to strike down people videos, bro. I don't like him, bro. Everybody, bro. Why you do that?
Coming into the 2020s, J Boogie and the rest of the Bloodhounds would keep repping their new clique in their music, such as the May 2020 music video for the song Go by Boogie, JB, and another Drill City rapper called Lil Vic, where Boogie first raps that he's only been out for 60 days but has already ran his paper back up, with this likely referring to his 2017 arrest on numerous charges, the most serious one being UUW.
What he got? Let's see, stolen. He inside a stolen vehicle. Possession of cannabis, insurance, driving on a revoked license, failed to speed. Yeah, bro was tweaking, but all these some little like goofy charges. Like, bro, why don't you get insurance? Driving on revoked license. That's just all little petty stuff. The UUW, that is a felony. It's actually an aggravated. It's supposed to be an aggravated UUW. I ain't gonna lie to you if he don't got no thing, because I end up getting aggravated UUW, and that was a felony.
Or unlawful use of a weapon, for which he would end up receiving a 4-year sentence.
You see, I told you that was an aggravated use of a weapon, because I'll be like, if it's a felony, it's not just gonna be a UUW. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He would then mention the Bloodhounds, saying that they will come and get anyone for the right bag, all while the members would be flexing big bags of vacuum-sealed dope in the music video. JB then steps in and calls the Bloodhounds his family, while flexing a new Bloodhound chain, which is the very same design that Jeff would later rock in his own music videos. Boogie also comes back towards the end as he compares the Bloodhounds to an army due to the wide selection of guns that they have. The Bloodhounds would also have a new rapper that would begin to drop a bunch of songs around this time too. His name was Bloodhound Z Money, real name Zayn.
Bro, this picture looked like he don't do any gangbanging activity at all. I ain't gonna lie to you, but this picture, he look a little bit more like he gangbanging.
Nelson. In fact, he's actually Lil Jeff's cousin, with some of Jeff's family members from his mother's side commonly liking and commenting on Z Money's family's social media posts. There are also old photos of Z Money from the early 2010s together with J Boogie and the mother of Jeff and Boogie. In a music video by Z Money dropped in December 2020, Z Money can be seen hanging out with J Boogie, flexing big guns and stacks of cash. Unfortunately, not long before this video dropped, Boogie would get in trouble with the law once again in August 2020 when he was seemingly arrested twice on numerous charges, including possession of a stolen vehicle and once again UUW.
Yeah, bro, tripping. I ain't gonna lie to you. Almost every Chicago rapper gonna have a UUW, or aggravated UUW. Like, that's like a charge that everybody gonna get, like 9 times out of 10. Because if you're in Chicago, you're gonna most likely carry a gun.
This would once again see J Boogie doing another long bid in prison, with his projected parole date now being in 2027. Meanwhile, the new generation of Drill City, Trap City, and Chris World members were also reaching adulthood. One of these kids being the Bloodhound rapper Vert, or Rel Vert, who seemingly spent much of his childhood in these neighborhoods. In fact, his and his old friend's social media accounts still have plenty of pictures left from around that time period, and in these pictures, a young Vert can be seen dropping the Ys, likely once again for TYMB, whilst also throwing what seems to be either a 6 or a B hand sign. Perhaps either as a homage to 66th Street, meaning Trap City or Chris World, or for Barnum, that Drill City rep. Or the B may possibly even represent the Bloodhounds, which at this time were already a major thing amongst many of the older members from the area, who were using this very same hand sign. Now, Vert is slightly older than Jeff, and he would also begin his rap career a few years before him. For example, his music video for a song called Next Song Remix, dropping in early 2019. The music video begins with Vert saying that they are posted up on the 79th, meaning Drill City's hood, before once again dropping Ys and throwing the 6 or B hand sign.
Hey, you know how the fuck we come in? We don't remember, man. You know I'm coming in. Hey, 07 now, you know we in it. Man. Gang. Yeah. A whole lot of that. Yeah. A whole lot of that.
He then begins his verse by saying how he's posted on the 9 and sometimes on the 6, meaning that he hangs out in both Drill City's hood and Trap City or Chris World's hood. While it appears that Vert was mostly repping Drill City, he would also be very close with Trap City.
Man, that lining is diabolical, bro. In that middle, I don't know what happened right there.
Members, as can be seen from his 21st birthday vlog in 2022, where he hangs out in Trap City's hood, with this video being eerily posted exactly 2 years before Jeff's death in that very same hood. More specifically, Vert is hanging in the video near 67th and Evans, while Jeff would be killed near 67th and Rhodes, only about a 0.3 mile walk away. Vert would also explain in his early 2022 interview with Truth Teller TV that he was both Drill City and Trap City.
I'm from 67 Trap City and 79 Drill City. My name L'Oreal Vert, man.
Meanwhile, during the late 2010s, another main rapper from the new generation of Bloodhounds, who is also a cousin of Jeff and Z Money, Q50, was still attending high school, eventually graduating in 2022. Jeff, on the other hand, was still largely absent from any social media activity concerning in 2022.
That's the same high school that my ex went through. She went to that same high school.
Jeff, on the other hand, was still largely absent from any social media activity concerning Drill City or Bloodhounds coming into the 2020s, with one of his first appearances seemingly being in a late 2021 music video by Z Money titled Gone MIA, where a 19-year-old Jeff can be seen chilling in the background while his cousin raps, while his other appearance will be soon after in a music video for his brother J Boogie and JB Bin Laden's track titled N-Words Green, where Jeff can be seen next to his big bro smoking big blunts and toting a gun with a drum magazine, showing that at this point he was already likely deep in the streets together with his brother. Coming into the 2020s, it seems that the beefs of the 06679, aka the Chris World, Trap City and Drill City Alliance, which now included also the Bloodhound clique, were now increasingly beginning to revolve around their oldest enemies, the GD majority sets of the former Lon City, 8 Trey Mob, Evans Mob and Hit Squad, which is likely why they were increasingly dropping rakes for the GDs in their music videos instead of the Ys for TYMB like they had primarily done throughout the 2010s. That would have been back when the beef with TYMB was particularly hot, but still, Vert would aim his disses in his September.
Or everybody just like to drop the G now. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, dropping a G has been on the rise, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Everybody just like dropping a G now.
November 2020 song No Dissin' squarely at TYMB and 8-Tray Mob, saying both Die Y for TYMB and F83rd for 8-Tray Mob. However, in his November 2021 remix of Lil Durk's track Piss Me Off, he would rap how it's F the Ops and Young Money, perhaps showing that the beef with TYMB was a much more passive beef now, while the beef with 8-Tray Mob, Evans Mob and Hit Squad was much more active at this time. Some months before the release of that song, on the 1st of March 2021, a very respected 8-Tray Mob member called Clay, real name Darian Cherry, was sitting in his car in the 8-Tray Mob's hood on the 86th Street when another car pulled up next to him and somebody began firing shots from the inside. Clay received a gunshot to the mouth and was transported to the University of Chicago Medical Center in critical condition. Clay would survive the shooting for the time being, but would remain in hospital fighting for his life. One member from the 8-Tray Mob who would comment on Clay's situation particularly often was a guy called Lil Crew, real name Nyreek Curtis, who was seemingly a very close friend of Clay. Crew was also an aspiring rapper who had been releasing music since at least 2017. Crew would comment on Facebook the very next day how he wasn't going to say too much, perhaps insinuating that he was going to respond by actions and not with words. However, his later post would also make it clear that Clay's situation was weighing heavily on his mind. Crew would also write about a week after Clay had been shot how they were testing their guns on stop signs because the ops weren't outside. And later, he would comment on how the ops had been on
Talking about testing your guns on stuff. Bro, that's how you gonna go to jail, bro. If you doing that, bro, you gonna go to jail before you even get to the ops. I ain't gonna lie to you. Fun fact, lots of people be getting the switch and they get locked up with the switch before they even get to use the switch on somebody. They end up using the regular pipe on someone before they end up using the switch on someone. And they end up doing extra time for a switch. They didn't even get to use it.
On their high horse after Clay had been shot, even though they knew Clay had been sliding on them often. Unfortunately, Clay would eventually succumb to his injuries and pass away in May 2021. And to honor his memory, 8-Tray Mob would begin to call their block the Clay Way. Clay's murder has never been solved, but the rumors online have placed the blame on a few different people. One of these, perhaps somewhat surprisingly, being Lil Jeff himself, with some people claiming that this information comes from a reliable source, while others would...
Bro, bro, come on now, assuming you have a reliable source. He said, yeah. Who is the reliable source, bro? How can you trust anyone with these profile pictures? First of all, bro, anyone that take the time out their day to come on Reddit and speak about these rappers and tell what these rappers got going on, 9 times out of 10 don't really got no connection to these rappers for real, because it's like, the people that know these rappers not finna go out on Reddit to talk about their peoples. Let's be real. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That's crazy right there, bro. For these people to even be doing this, going to Reddit to do this type of behavior.
With some people claiming that this information comes from a reliable source, while others would claim that Clay had in fact been killed by Vert. However, to be absolutely clear, there's seemingly no real evidence to tie either of them to this murder, although they would certainly take part in dissing Clay on social media, and in music, such as on Vert's song Knuck If You Buck that was released on October 2022, where Vert raps how 8-Tray Mob thought that Clay's name was ringing in the streets, but now he's irrelevant, as well as dissing another 8-Tray Mob member for allegedly getting shot and injured. Unfortunately, Vert and Drill City was soon about to experience a major loss of their own.
Folks got a square head, I ain't gonna bap to you.
During his teenage years, Vert had seemingly been particularly close with a guy from Drill City called Ruger, real name Jermaine Darden. Unfortunately, Ruger would be gunned down in Drill City's hood in March 2021, whilst 2 others were wounded. This would be another devastating loss for the people close to him. Q52 would pay his respects to Ruger right after his death, showing that while he might have been absent at this point from the music videos of guys like Vert, he was very much involved in the street side of things. Like Clay before him, the killing of Ruger would also become yet another unsolved murder in Chicago. However, there has certainly been some interesting posts that have come out after his death, one of these being a post from one of the cousins of Clay, who would say how he'd risked his life to get back for Clay. And then, less than a month after Ruger's death, on the 13th of April 2021, at around 7 PM, Lil Crew would be outside of the very same 300 block of 86th Street where Clay had been shot at the beginning of March, when someone would open fire at him, striking him in the chest. Crew would then be taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, just like Clay had been, but this time, the injuries were immediately too critical, and Crew would be pronounced dead soon after arrival. Yet again, the murder of Crew would go unsolved. But in online spaces, such as Reddit, the Jeffologists themselves, who have been rumored to possess an almost otherworldly ability to see the victims of their demigod and his disciples in their crystal balls, have once again pinned this murder on Vert. Some would even claim that Vert himself had gotten shot in the leg before Cruz.
Bro, how do y'all know? I ain't gonna lie to you. Me personally, I feel like I ain't believing nothing till they get arrested for it. Unless I personally know this person personally and they told me from their mouth. I ain't trying to hear no internet posts, no music video lyrics, no none of that stuff. And if y'all going off of that, bro, y'all be gullible. Because you feel me, it's people that speak on some stuff that come to find out a whole different person get locked up for it. And I'll be like, I thought y'all said that person did it. Well, he said he did it. Okay, just because he said he did it, he did it. I mean, I know I personally wouldn't lie about doing nothing like that, but you'll be surprised on how many people would just lie and say some stuff. And then y'all just be assuming stuff too. Like a rapper say something, and then y'all be like, oh, he talking about this situation because this happened to this guy. He could be talking about a whole nother situation, but y'all just assume.
Murder, which he references in an unreleased song. This possibly even being the same shooting where Ruger would die and 2 others would be injured, one of these 2 then possibly being Vert. Vert would also mention Crew in the song Knuck If You Buck, as well as the rapper Don Darius from 8-Tray, who was one of the early rappers for the set before he was killed in 2013, saying that he can't go out like Don D and that 8-Tray haven't got a get back for Crew and Clay, with at least the implication being that the 06679 were indeed behind the murders of both Crew and Clay. But perhaps the most telling lyrics from Vert are in a lesser known song from early 2022 titled Live or Die by the Chris World rapper Chief 2 Times, now going by the name Big Boss 2 Times, featuring Tero and RB Tasky from.
Bro, how do you be finding this stuff, bro? Like, I don't know any of these guys, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. The first time I heard about lots of these dudes was in like 2020, whenever Lil Jeff made LAX. That's when I started finding out about all the Bloodhound people. And of course, I heard about the JB Bin Laden guy. I ain't gonna bap to you, but I never listened to his music for real. I didn't know about none of these guys really until y'all found out about these guys. Some of y'all probably knew about them before me. I ain't gonna bap to you. I'm not tapped into what these rappers got going on for real. You feel me? Unless they get like a real viral song or they pass away. Because then when they pass away, I end up finding out about them. But I knew about Lil Jeff before he passed away.
Trap City, as well as Vert, who raps in his verse how it's F8-Tray, before specifically mentioning both Crew and Clay, saying how he got them both lit. Yet others have claimed that Crew was in fact killed by somebody from the Woodlawn set 800, who are known for beefing with numerous sets, including both the Bloodhounds and the 8-Tray mob. However, what is once again clear is that following the murder of Crew, Vert would use many of his songs to send messages that they had in fact gotten get back for Ruger. Firstly, in the beginning of June 2021, Vert would drop a music video for his song titled Play By The Rules, where the video begins with a tribute clip of Ruger dancing to Lil Durk's song No Auto Durk, where Durk raps the famous line, "New op pack in the air, this gas or what?" Then, a few months later, at the end of August 2021, Vert would drop a music video for his song Drill Life, where he raps how he has to kill 10 of his ops for them to feel what he felt, with this likely being another reference to Ruger. This was followed in November with a much more direct claim in Vert's Pissed Me Off remix, with Vert rapping how they got get back for Ruger and how they lost 1, but their ops lost 4. Then, once again, at the end of December 2021, Vert would drop a music video called Gang, together with JB and a rapper called Lil Cap, where they can be seen with a cutout of Ruger, while Vert begins the song by rapping how they cried for Ruger but also slid for him, and that the score is not even, with him implying that they are doing so much damage that their ops are claiming that 06679 is cheating. The dissing would continue in 2022 when Vert would release the music video for his song titled simply Drill, where Vert first repeats a bar of how someone was dissing on their raps but now they can't speak, with this being a possible reference to Crew, before then continuing to pay tribute to Ruger, saying that he's pulling up on his ops block and making them run. And the references to Ruger would just keep coming, with Vert then releasing a music video for his song 21 in June 2022.
Bro, why you got this comic book music intro and music in the back, bro? It sounds like I'm like listening to like an old Spider-Man comic, but I'm watching drill rappers. You got to change up the little beat selection in the back.
with this being the music video that they had been filming in Trap City's hood during the celebration for Vert's 21st birthday. In the song, Vert once again mentions how he cried after Ruger's death, but that he had then wiped his tears and gone to sliding, and saying how it's been back-to-back homicides ever since. At this point, it was clear that no matter who had been behind these murders, the war around the East Side was getting very heated, and unfortunately, the war wouldn't only continue between the established alliances, such as 8-Tray, Evans, and Hit Squad versus the Drill City, Trap City, Chris World, and the Bloodhounds, but it would eventually morph into a deadly civil war within the 06679 alliance. In late 2022, the time would finally come when Lil Jeff, or Bloody Hound Lil Jeff, as his artist name would be, begun his rap career, dropping his first song and music video titled The Bloody Family, together with JB Bin Laden, with the name of the song being an obvious reference to his gang in the streets, the Bloodhounds. In his DJU interview, Jeff would attribute the beginning of his music career to Vert, who had encouraged him to start rapping. This part of the interview coinciding with Jeff's right-hand man Q50 chopping up some prescription-quality pain medication with a doctor-like focus and precision, showing that while Jeff would later earn the nickname the Pistol Professor, it was Q50 who was truly the Pill Professor. The track Bloody Family would be followed about a month later with Jeff's first solo song titled Can't Beat Us. In these songs, a babyface Jeff raps with a monotone delivery, lacking the high-pitched Joker-style voice that would later become his trademark. And this version of Jeff almost looks like a different person from the charismatic neck-tattooed demon that he would later appear.
Bro, why do you add all this? You must be a Lil Jeff fan too. Me personally, I think he looked the same. He just got tattoos now in his dreads grew. In my opinion, personally, but maybe he looked like a whole different person to you.
Appear as in his music videos, walking around his hood like he owned the place. Nevertheless, since the beginning, Jeff was rapping like he was really, truly about that life, ending the song Can't Beat Us with an outro monologue where he repeats twice how he's really not a rapper, whilst insinuating that he's actually a killer who just raps because that's what the fans want to see.
I mean, bro, I feel like every rapper say that, bro. Every rapper say, I am not a rapper. Don't get this. It's like rappers want to be everything but a rapper. Like, I swear to God, bro, every time I hear a rapper, bro, they say they not a rapper. They sliding on the ops, or they not a rapper. They a trapper. They never want to be a rapper, even though they rappers. Like, bro, how come y'all just don't embrace the fact that y'all rap? There's nothing wrong with being a rapper, bro. Y'all never want to have the title of what y'all be doing, rapping.
This was followed in late November with the first collab between Jeff and Vert, a song and music video titled I Love My Draco. And the music video begins with a clip showing a masked up Jeff in traffic, contributing to the image that Jeff and the other young bloodhounds were actively sliding in the streets.
I think this the video, the clip that they tried to say. I think that was confirmed for sure, because they end up locking up someone, and they said a deceased rapper ended up posting a clip on Instagram. And I believe this was the clip that they was talking about, because the news even said Lil Jeff posted a clip that they was trying to use and stuff.
In between dropping their songs. This would also be the first video where Jeff would begin to showcase the more high-pitched voice that would later become his trademark, with him giving a little monologue mid-song dissing his ops, particularly TYMB. Jeff would then begin rapping how his mum prays every day that he makes it back home, but he tells her that he's okay because he's the one doing all the killing, before flipping the script Lil Durk style as he announces how this is all fake and just a song, the insinuation of course being that this is really not just a song. The music video then ends with a scene of JB, Jeff and Vert calling J Boogie in prison.
Free them boys, we them boys, man. Folks on the way. Free J Boogie, man. Free J Boogie campaign. Free Boogie, man.
But coming into 2023, Jeff would keep dropping new music with videos like the song N-Words B12 on March the 23rd, as well as the song Big 3 on April the 3rd, together with Q50 and another Bloodhound rapper, Slimito. In both music videos, Jeff can be seen surrounded by the Bloodhounds, including this time also his cousin Z Money, who is now playing the role of background character whilst giving Jeff all the limelight, as he once again continues to portray his image of a killer, insinuating on N-Words B.
You just called him a background character? Bro, it's his cousin supporting the music video. You called him a background character? That's crazy, Trappereezy.
12, how he'll see people that he's killed in hell. Unfortunately, as these music videos dropped, a tragedy had already stricken Jeff and the Bloodhounds that would completely change the alliances in the area. ultimately caused the downfall of Lil Jeff. A few years before, in 2020, a bunch of rappers from the 0679 alliance of Trap City and Drill City, including RB Tasky, Lil Cap, Vert, and Mooka, will drop a music video for their song titled On Fire. The music video, which was filmed and released by AMF Visuals, who would eventually also become Lil Jeff's manager, is now interestingly unlisted. The music video begins with one of the most random cameos in perhaps all of drill history, with the camera showing King Von's sister, Kayla B. And
bro, if it's unlisted, bro, how do you know about this, bro? I don't be understanding, bro, unless y'all knew about it. Y'all listened to it when it first came out. Because I've been like, bro, if I were to try to make a video on Lil Jeff, I wouldn't have knew about that video. Unless I made a video about Lil Jeff watching this video for my information.
late Texas rapper Enchanting, who would sadly pass away in 2024, with both of them hanging out in Trap City's hood. The video also shows guys like Vert hanging out in Trap City, like on the corner of 66th Street, aka Marquette Road, and Rhodes Avenue, while the rapper Mooka raps a bar about how the alliance between Trap City or Chris World and Drill City would never divide. Indeed, coming into 2023, the alliance between Drill City, Trap City, and Chris World, aka 06679, had lasted for over a decade, with these sets seemingly never having any larger qualms during this period. Unfortunately, in 2023, this alliance would finally come crashing down, with one murder shrouded in mystery changing the relationship between these sets irreversibly. On the 7th of February 2023, JB Bin Laden would tweet a cryptic message saying how tables turn, bridges burn, but it is what it is. JB's tweet really could have been about just anything, but what would happen only a month later would certainly make this tweet seem ominous in hindsight, as on the 16th of March 2023, at about 2 p.m, Jeff's cousin Z Money, aka Zaire Nelson, was sitting in his car on the 1300 block of East 79th Street near the intersection of 79th and Kimbark. This location being in the Avalon Park neighborhood, about 0.6 miles east from the main intersection.
I ain't gonna lie, why is he sitting inside his car? Unless he had a light or something, but it's like, bro, being in the city, bro, you shouldn't be sitting inside your car. And I know I be saying this, but sometimes, bro, I will sit in my car in the city, bro. And it's like, bro, people just be shooting any and everywhere. Like, you don't even gotta have ops, bro. It's just like, bro, someone could be shooting at the person over there, and you just in the vicinity, and they don't got no aim. So now you get hit. So you shouldn't be eating, sitting in no car. I said eating because I was eating in the car.
Of the Bloodhounds on 79th and Maryland, which is in the Chatham neighborhood. There, another vehicle would reportedly approach Z Money's car in a parking lot of a dry cleaners. Someone from inside that car began opening fire, hitting Z Money multiple times. Z Money would be taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he would unfortunately be pronounced dead. Chi-Town crime chasers would later arrive at the scene to film the aftermath of the shooting, showing the police combing through the scene with numerous shell markers left on the ground. In the comments of the video, Q50's mum would react to the footage, clearly personally affected by the death of Z Money, and the loss of Z Money would be a huge blow for the Bloodhounds, particularly Jeff, as his cousin had likely been like a brother to him in the streets ever since his real brother Boogie had gone to prison. To pay tribute to him, both Jeff and Q50 would get Z Money tattoos on the top of their eyes, as well as a bunch of Z's tattooed on their index finger, aka their trigger fingers. But, as can be imagined, Z Money's death was an even greater loss for his family. In December 2023, a non-profit journalism project called The Trace, which investigates gun violence in America, would actually write a story about Z Money, aka Zaire, and in the piece, they would interview his mother. In this truly heartbreaking piece of journalism, the mother explains how Z Money had been dropped off at the hospital, but according to a doctor, he had been dead on arrival, having been shot over 29 times. The mother would also reveal that Z Money had been waiting for his friend in the parking lot, who had gone to drop off some clothes at the dry cleaners to be tailored. And when the shooters appeared, this made Z Money attempt to run away, but ultimately getting caught by the hail of bullets, with it also being explained that his friend had then arrived and returned fire before fleeing the scene. And that friend was later not willing to speak to the police in fear of getting in trouble with them himself for using his gun. Unsurprisingly, Z Money's murder would once again go unsolved by the Chicago Police Department, leaving his mother even more traumatized.
And he didn't want his street career to be over with. Not just he didn't want to go to jail. You snitch. Even like, bro, if someone shoot at your homie and then you end up telling the police what happened, bro, you know they go be like, bro, you snitching. I ain't gonna lie to you. So he's probably trying to protect his street credibility as well.
With her explaining in the article that she was tortured by the idea that she might just be walking the streets amongst her son's killer in the local community. The mother's fear was indeed legitimate because, as the rumor goes now, Z Money was allegedly killed by people who were very close to him, more specifically by his old friends from Trap City who had allegedly backdoored Z Money. At the time of the shooting, Z Money's death would be posted in Reddit.
I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna say it sounded like a back door. Why I say I sound like a back door? Because they said he was sitting in the car, his homie ended up went into the dry cleaners. I'm like, I was gonna say something, but then I heard that the homie ran out blowing back. I'm like, alright, maybe it wasn't no back door. But maybe someone else backdoored him. I don't know, bro. But I've been like, he could have been up on it. He could have been part of the plan. That's why he went up in the dry cleaners and had him wait up in the car.
Drill community chiracology, but the speculation about the reasons behind his death would only truly begin after Lil Jeff begun making noise in the drill scene, with some claiming that the killing was actually all the result of a girl and a stolen gun, while others completely denied that any backdoor situation or setup had even taken place. However, the case would seemingly get some clarity in July 2024 when members of Trap City, including Trap City Rob,
Bro, it looked like all them be stealing. The dude before, him, all them be stealing.
Durk's former good friend Tero, who's also a rapper, and OTF Black, who's actually a friend of Lil Durk and a Trap City OG, would give an interview to the Chicago YouTuber X-Man Rico, where they would insinuate that the relationship between Trap City and Drill City had actually gone sour over a stolen chain.
Cause the way Reddit, this is why I want the clip too. They say his dad from down here, Big J or something like that. Big J.
Yeah. Anybody you got.
Also, his daddy is from down here.
Yeah, fuck used to hang with them. They know what they did.
So okay.
They know what they did.
So okay, the Bloodhounds. Yeah, y'all was cool.
Everybody that got a. That was my homie. He stole the chain, bro. We tried like he took it. He stole my homie chain.
Who was that? South J?
Nah, brother. One of the other guys. This one of the other. This other one. Both letting him wear the J.
Bro, these interviewers be making the beef worse. I ain't gonna lie to you. They be egging it on so much. Talking about, oh yeah, he really took your chain. That's crazy. I ain't gonna back to you, man. What else happened?
Come back like he got into a high speed with 12. Line saying he lost it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's how they live. You know?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
You know Jay Boogie, like
Jay
Boogie, under us, shorty, like I was in the field of this kid. Like this little Jeff brother, like on that. I don't know how this gonna play out.
They say he ain't claiming the hood still.
But he Trap City.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
like,
where he from.
that's all weird, bro.
And you over Saturday night blood, like you can't.
But we already know Trap City and Drill City was the same. Bucky and Water, like that's our family.
Yeah.
So,
bro, he ain't claiming that stuff no more. I would hope not. I ain't gonna back to you, bro. Like, if I would have came out of jail and I found out my hood unalived my brother, even though my brother was the one that slid on him, I'm not being that stuff no more. Just because it's like, at the end of the day, it's not their fault that they unalived him, because it's like Jeff was sliding on them. But it's like, still, bro, I can't be that no more. I ain't gonna lie to you.
so that chain incident really split it up?
It looked like chain
Or was it
snatchers.
something else before then?
It was chain, really,
chain.
Man. It was chain, man. They tried to steal a chain. He ain't take it. No, I ain't trying to limit his image. You know what I'm saying? He did
I
not
just
take
feel like
that chain, bro.
when it came to like when you went on some real.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Everybody say they chain got stolen. No one never said they chain got took. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like the only way a rapper gonna admit they chain got took is if a video come out. If a video don't come out, then they not gonna admit that. But lots of the time too, people do be just stealing the chain and then they be acting like they took it. That be the case lots of the times. People be on some slimy stuff and then you look up on the internet, you looking for your chain. Where my chain go? You look on the internet, folks that just left your crib. Yeah, he just got his stuff took. You're like, bro, I was just looking for my chain, bro. You talking about I just got it took?
Because you know we don't just move on situations, so we just feel like a lot of feel like it was just dumb the chain on my soul, like from our hood being free, let them away your chain. Who does that?
We may never know exactly what took place, but what does seem clear is that following Z-Money's death, the Bloodhounds would cut all ties to their old friends around Trap City and Chris World. And as Jeff would rap in his feature on another Bloodhound rapper Hotheads, aka Tank Montana's song Still Walking, released in November 2023, losing his cousin would also make him lose his mind, with Jeff's focus from that point onwards seemingly being one thing and one thing alone, a get back that he would allegedly get during the summer of 2023. When it comes to Lil Jeff and his alleged bodies, the rumors and theories tend to range from the absurd, suggesting that he's truly a demon catching all of these bodies, to pretty much complete denial that he ever killed anyone at all. But there's no doubt to me that Jeff was really in these streets though, with several videos circulating on...
I ain't gonna lie. I don't think he got all them hats, but I can say I believe folks got bodies. I ain't believing that 11 hats though. I just can't believe it. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I believe he got bodies though.
Q50's Instagram years later, showing that by 2024, Lil Jeff was indeed a hardened gangster riding around the city, constantly strapped with guns, ready to kill at a moment's notice. However, it would seemingly be a process of several years before he would become the hardened gang member he was known as today. In one of the earliest YouTube videos covering Jeff's alleged bodies, his rumored murder spree stretches all the way back to September 2014, with his first alleged body supposedly being an 18-year-old who went by the name Mally Marl, real name Kamal Burton, who was allegedly affiliated with the H-Ray mob. Although the murder itself would take place in the far south side in the Old Geld Gardens community.
By Dalton, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Dalton, this is suburbs right here, bro. But the Hundreds is by the burbs. Dalton is actually one of them bad suburbs, I ain't gonna lie to you. And it's crazy. This say East Chicago. Y'all can't even see it say East Chicago. Right below Ryder, it's a city right here that say East Chicago. That's not Chicago though. It's East Chicago, Indiana. The real east side is like, can't even see it because the map right there.
At the time, Jeff would have barely been a 12-year-old boy, seemingly gifted in basketball. He would have been spending most of his days training for a career in sport. Also, according to a CPD spokesperson, Marl was approached by two men who then opened fire. The idea of a scrawny 12-year-old Jeff being mistaken for a grown man in this case sounding pretty unlikely. But for further context, even Jeff's own brother Boogie would have still only been 16 years old at the time of Marl's murder, albeit he would arguably always look older than his age. In more time, we'll likely learn much more about Jeff and his younger years as things come out. But when it comes to his deeds in the streets, it's likely much more sensible to take his own account of his childhood seriously. As he would recount in his DJU interview, Jeff would allegedly truly get in the streets quite late in his life, around 2020, this being his last year in high school and graduation.
So around what age did you jump off the porch and start hanging out in the streets?
I'm gonna say when I came outside for real.
No, so Lil Jeff is my age. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro, because we graduated the same year. We both graduated in 2020. I thought folks was younger than me the way he acted. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought the way he acted, I thought folks was like younger than me by a couple years. It's crazy he my age.
For real, I was like 18 type.
Okay.
I just turned like 18.
However, this certainly doesn't mean that Jeff's childhood was normal by any of broader society standards, as Jeff would also open up to DJU, saying that his father was not in his life growing up, as he too, quote-unquote, stood on business. This perhaps being a reference to Jeffrey Harris Sr.'s alleged time in the streets with the 068 C block.
Let's say back then he went around.
Says acting weird as shit. He bogus. He cool. I'm dope, man. He be doing what he do.
So how did that affect you back then, though? Not having pops around.
OG stood on business, so you know, that shit didn't matter for real.
But moreover, as we know now, Jeff's big brother, J Boogie, had clearly been in the streets since at least the early 2010s, which would seemingly affect Jeff's life and his experiences growing up significantly.
And I'm doing that. I've been seeing my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I told you I got an older brother, so.
I just see in the interview, he seemed a little bit more like his age. But the clips and stuff, I be seeing him, I thought he was younger, I ain't gonna lie to you. But this interview he seen, he acting a little bit more his age.
This ain't nothing new for real, it's the same shit I've been seeing. Everything I was doing, I just saw already.
One of these significant moments in the young Jeff's life would of course be witnessing the murder of Kenny Mack. Whilst another incident that affected Jeff growing up was his family house getting shot up with one of the bullets, according to Jeff, whizzing by right next to his head.
So can you tell us like who introduced you to the street life?
My brother.
Your older brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how was he showing you the ropes?
Let me tell you, my crib got shot up when I was like 14. I was some stupid ass. The bullet that flew like right past my face. They had shot the back and the front. Then they blew the car and set that on fire. It was busting. I ain't gonna lie, it was going on.
Yeah, some people end up setting our cars on fire too, because I guess the dude that my mama was talking to, you feel me, he was doing what he did, and people, I guess they had problems or whatever.
Almost hit me, though. See what I'm saying, though? Shit like that play a part. All type of just seeing that shit every day. I was seeing it every day, you know what I'm saying? So like everything I was seeing that shit all the time, just like I'm doing right now. It's just I'm a part of it now, so it's definitely.
Now, it's important to remember that while Jeff would seemingly appear in the drill scene almost out of nowhere, he was always the product of his environment, and that environment being one of the most dangerous in the whole of Chicago during the 2010s and beyond. When it comes to Jeff's time in the streets after 2020, when he supposedly got involved with the Bloodhounds heavy through his brother, there's still no shortage of alleged victims that are commonly or less commonly attributed to his supposed double-digit body count, with even the YouTuber who had originally published one of the first supposed body lists of Jeff spinning back with a new video sometime later, this time including only names post-2020. One of the more obscure names on this list of people that Lil Jeff allegedly took the lives of was an alleged member of the Crew hit squad by the name of Lil Gutter, real name Ronnie L. Sistruk Jr., who would lose his life in 2021 around the same time when the young bloodhounds such as Vert and Jeff would allegedly be responsible for the deaths of the A-Tray members Clay and Crew, with Gutter being shot down on the 13th of May 2021, eerily exactly 1 month after the murder of Crew on the 13th of April. Gutter would be caught on the 700 block of 79th Street, this location being a mere 4 minutes walk from the intersection of 79th and Maryland, one of the main spots that Jeff and other Bloodhound members have claimed in their music videos. However, when it comes to any actual proof that Jeff or the Bloodhounds were behind this murder, the evidence seems to be slim to none, with this particular case further muddled by the fact that Hit Squad would have another, much more known member called Gutter too, who would unfortunately also end up losing his life, in this case in 2015, allegedly by the Bloodhound affiliated set MTV 079, whose members have commonly dissed this Gutter over the years too. Another less commonly heard name in this YouTuber's list is an alleged member of the Evans mob called Black, real name Roger Lewis, who was a 33-year-old OG of his block, shot dead in a drive-by whilst driving in March 2022. The only problem with this theory is that Black's alleged killer was in fact charged already the following month in April 2022 and is...
You see, this is what I mean by the Reddit stuff. The Reddit stuff be saying all this stuff. They saying all people be saying he got all these bodies. And just because he said this, now people just trying to find stuff and make it add up. They just trying to make it make sense just because he said it. But y'all gotta understand, bro. Just because they say it don't mean they actually got it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. So now y'all just putting a random situation. I'm like, yeah, this one of his bodies. Now I've been knowing someone locked up for it. Trap Breezy just exposing y'all Redditology people right now.
Is now serving his sentence for the murder. Also in 2022, Jeff would end up losing someone seemingly very close to him, a man named Jamarian Loston, better known in the streets as J-Mo, who was allegedly part of the 06679 Alliance. There are some rumors that claim that it was this murder that motivated Jeff to catch his first body as revenge, this victim getting allegedly caught outside of a corner store or gas station, as Jeff and other Bloodhounds have implied in several songs. Later on, there would also be some rumors surfacing online that Jeff was supposedly even carrying out contract killings all the way in Milwaukee, with one Chiracologist dropping a picture in the comments of Jeff hanging out with some alleged local gang members from Milwaukee, with this picture being from a music video of the rappers Ghost, 53206, Super Throwed Fay Fay, and K-Rax called Plenty Missed Calls, released in July 2023. This outfit actually being the very same one that Jeff is wearing in his music video for the song N-Words B12, released on March 2023. In fact, even now, K-Rax still seemingly has Jeff as his profile picture on Instagram, which he likely changed following Jeff's death. Jeff and the other Bloodhounds would also later make several references to doing contract killings and to Milwaukee, with JB Bin Laden rapping in the song Run But Can't Hide that also features Lil Jeff how the Bloodhounds have blood for hire, meaning that they're selling hits too, whilst Jeff himself would also rap in the song LA Freestyle how someone tripped and got killed and how he's in Milwaukee like the NBA team the Milwaukee Bucks. Q52 would claim in the leaked song BH4L how people know that he has bodies from state to state and that he's clapping people in Milwaukee for money. However, while some people on Reddit swear that this is a fact, there seems to be very little actual proof to back up these claims, and it appears that when it comes to the more plausible rumors, these will begin not long after the death of Z Money in March 2023, with one of the first alleged victims of Jeff following Z Money's murder being a young man.
So do y'all think it's true? Is y'all, chat, is y'all some of those people that believe, oh yeah, it's true that they've been out here catching bodies out of state? Because someone was arguing with me. Wow, they was arguing with themselves in the comments. But they was saying like, oh yeah, bro, they said in the song that they was sliding out of state to catch bodies. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Even though Milwaukee, that's only like, what, 2-3 hours away. It ain't that far.
Called Lil Pooh, real name Pierre Boozer Jr., who hailed from Jeff's old stomping grounds, being allegedly part of the Flipside set who repped the 93rd Street. However, Pooh was seemingly well affiliated in the East Side, with his brother allegedly being part of the 95 mob located in the Princeton Park neighborhood, while Pooh was also, according to some, allegedly affiliated with none other than Trap City, with him even having 067 in his Instagram profile name. However, there's very little to be shown about his affiliations on his social media. To the contrary, there's more to be shown about Pooh's connection with the Bloodhounds, although the reason behind these connections could be either affiliation or rivalry. Whatever the case, at the time of his death, Pooh was seemingly living far away from Flipside, Trap City, or Drill City, all the way outside of the borders of Chicago on the 1800 block of 223rd Street in the community of Sauk Village. There, on the 9th of April 2023, a few weeks after the death of Z Money, police would respond to reports of shots fired and find an unresponsive Pooh laying on the
Dang, at Sauk Village? I ain't gonna lie, South Village, I don't think that's that bad of an area. I don't think it's that bad of a suburb for real. The worst suburbs I say is like Harvey, Dalton, Riverdale, stuff like that.
Front lawn of his home with multiple gunshot wounds, and his death would soon be ruled a homicide. Unfortunately, it seems that from the beginning, the police had very little to go on to solve Pooh's murder, and they would end up reaching out to the public in the hope that they would receive some clues or witnesses might step forward. But these clues would never seemingly materialize, and this murder remains unsolved. However, in this case, there are several examples of Lil Jeff seemingly claiming responsibility for Pooh's murder. For example, on the 9th of April 2024, the French Chicago drill aficionado Squid Ape would make a tribute post to Pooh on his Instagram, which would quickly gather numerous comments of people laughing at his death, to which one commenter would ask what he had done to invoke such a reaction, to which Lil Jeff himself would comment saying that Pooh had been dissing Z Money. Then, a few days before Jeff's death, an unreleased song of him was leaked online, the song having a bar where Jeff seemingly describes Pooh's death, saying how Pooh had dissed Z Money and now he's gone, before describing someone waiting for him to come home whilst laying in the grass outside his house.
No, I ain't gonna lie to you. In Milwaukee, they don't got it. They don't got bro, Milwaukee, that's literally like 3 hour drive from Chicago. I ain't gonna bap to you. It's Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
This bar seemingly describing exactly what might have taken place before Pooh's murder. On Reddit, one commenter would point out how Jeff had been hanging out with members from Flipside not long before his death, whilst guessing that this is why the song was never officially released at the time. However, on Jeff's posthumous album Stepping in Blood, this song is indeed included with the title In Your Home. But what makes the matter even more confusing is the fact that one of Pooh's good friends from Flipside would seemingly post an earnest tribute to Jeff following his death. And to make matters even more complicated, Jeff by no means wasn't the only one dissing Pooh after his
Milwaukee, yeah, Milwaukee got an airport, but I never really heard of no one from Chicago actually flying to Milwaukee. You feel me? Like that's just like certain states you just drive to, like I say, like Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, like those states. Lots of people from anywhere from Illinois, they probably gonna drive to those states. You feel me? Even Minnesota, lots of people in Chicago be driving down south to Atlanta because it's only 10 hours to get to the A, and that's not that far of a trip.
His death. Only a few days before the murder of Pooh, a young man would be killed in the community of Park Forest during an altercation.
Some people will fly, you feel me, but lots of people be driving too because it's 10 hours. Because I know lots of people there just drive out there and stuff.
At a house party, Park Forest being only a short drive away from Pooh's Sauk Village community. As it would turn out, the killed man was not just anyone, but an actual blood brother of the infamous rapper and Chicago drill, Wooski, originally from the STL EBT set. His brother, who was called Lowski, real name Ladarius Williams, allegedly belonged to a set called E-Block, and also apparently was part of a clique called Haddyway, which much like the Bloodhounds, allegedly consists of members from a few different sets, and is named after a boy called Haddy, who was killed in 2016. This clique having
I mean, yeah, 10 hours is kind of long, but I'll be driving to Atlanta by myself. Like, I take the trip to the A by myself. I drive that non-stop, literally. Hop in the car, going on it, man. Be flowing on the E-way by myself, going through state to state to state. As long as I got my flick, I ain't worried.
Been in a deadly war with JB Bin Laden's 400 East set for years. As the rumor would be, Pooh had allegedly had something to do with Lowski's death, and following Pooh's death, the members of the Haddyway would also seemingly claim to have been behind his murder. Meanwhile, following Jeff's death, Pooh's brother would rejoice on social media, laughing at how everyone who had dissed his brother had ended up getting shot themselves. However, who all these people were besides Jeff was not entirely clear, as it seems that Pooh was a known menace on the east side, as a rapper affiliated with the Mix Mob set called Lou Glocks would say in his tribute to Pooh. This being yet another example that Pooh seemingly had both many affiliations but also many enemies on the east side. But then, coming into the summer of 2023, Jeff...
And I don't be smoking. I don't be smoking when I be driving just because I don't be wanting to go to jail. You feel me? Because it's like smoking while having a gun. That's not a good thing, especially going down south. But I will vape. I'm not going to say I'm not smoking. I don't smoke no Zaza, you feel me? But I do have my little vape, you feel me? Because just doing that without nothing, that's pretty crazy. I ain't gonna bap to you. I just don't be smoking this out though. I just wait till I get out there.
Jeff would allegedly catch someone that almost no one would deny being his likely victim. As mentioned earlier, the murder of Z Money would allegedly break down the decade-plus-long affiliations between Trap City or Chris World and Drill City, with Jeff and his Bloodhound friends from that point onwards seemingly being consumed by their urge for a get-back for Z Money. In the song 333, which would seemingly first leak or be unofficially put out by Jeff's team some weeks before his death, the track would officially be released on the 14th of July with a music video that was filmed while Jeff was still alive. In the song, Jeff raps a bar about the Bloodhounds shooting so much on the road.
And the thing is, I ain't gonna lie to you, smoking in the car, that's a DUI. That's a DUI for they trying to, it's the same thing, it's drinking and driving. But when you inside states like southern states, it's not legal at all. So like, you gonna go to jail if you doing that stuff, depending on what amount you got. Either way, you're gonna get in trouble down south for sure. In Illinois, you might get a pass. Cali, you will get a little pass, you feel me? But down south, you can't get away with that, bro. They're gonna get on that with you.
Avenue that their ops had to shut their trap down. This bar likely referring particularly to the Rhodes Avenue roughly between the 66th and 68th streets, which is one of the main areas of Trap City or Chris World. Indeed, looking at sources like Chicago's Spot News, who follow the CPD's police radio traffic, there will be numerous times that gunshots will be reported around that area during the summer and fall of 2023. In fact, in his February 2024 song called Striker, Jeff even specifically implies that they are the reason why Trap City's hood is so often on Spot News. However, the alleged get back for Z Money would surprisingly take place far away from the hood of Trap City. On the 25th of June, at around 8:55 p.m, Trap City member called Leal, real name Jaleel Goins, will be sitting in a parked rideshare car in the Little Italy neighborhood near the University of Illinois Chicago campus. This neighborhood, sometimes now called Little Italy or University Village, is these days a truly upmarket neighborhood that's experienced high levels of gentrification since its inception as the home of many of Chicago's first Italian immigrants, and the demolition of all the large public housing complexes during the 2000s. By all accounts, this is one of the safest neighborhoods in Chicago, and one of the last places where one should expect to be a victim of gun violence.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't think I've never been to Little Italy. If I did, my grandma took me and I just, you feel me? But I've been to like Chinatown and stuff before.
Nevertheless, while Leal was sitting in his rideshare car on the 1300 block of West Taylor Street, someone would approach the car on foot and open fire through the rear passenger window, shooting inside the car numerous times before running away. The rideshare driver would immediately take off and drive the seriously wounded Leal to the nearest hospital, which was less than a mile away, but by that time, it would already be too late and Leal would be pronounced dead upon arriving at the hospital. The local ABC 7 News would be at the scene later that night and the next morning, interviewing the locals who had witnessed the shooting, with one of them explaining how the police may have counted 8 shots on the car window, but she claimed to have heard more than 20. This perhaps said something about the type of gun that was used in the shooting.
Well, as you know, these are very busy sidewalks. Here in Little Italy, you often have people walking to restaurants, bars, and stores, and last night was no different. Unfortunately, a young man lost his life, and a young man who is very well connected to an organization that many people in Chicago and across the country are familiar with, Project Hood. This evening, a statement from the founder about condolences and their recommitment to the work they do. Chicago police investigating a fatal shooting yesterday evening. 19-year-old Jaleel Goins was pronounced dead at Rush University Medical Center, but police and nearby residents tell us the incident began in the 1300 block of West Taylor Street, where Goins was a passenger in a rideshare and was shot. Then the rideshare driver drove Goins to the hospital.
I knew it was shots, and
I ain't gonna lie. How did they know he was inside the rideshare? Unless the rideshare ain't have no tents. And that's crazy if you don't got no tents on your Uber, even though I seen Ubers that don't got no tents. Or it could have been back door. I don't know which one. How y'all think they found out bro was inside that Uber?
like I said, I was in my bedroom, and I kind of ran like on the side of my bedroom, on the other side of the wall, because, you know, bullets don't have eyes.
I thought that was it. I thought that was it.
This woman was outside to meet someone. She tells me she was looking down at her phone, then heard the shots. She thought she had been shot, but she had not.
I'm down there on the ground crying and shaking and stuff. Pow, pow, pow. They said it was like 8 shots. No, I believe it was more than 20.
Pastor Corey Brooks confirms Goins was the son of an employee at Project Hood, releasing a statement saying in part, "Today, we are not just an organization. We are a family mourning the loss of a young life taken far too soon."
I'm still processing it because I'm still shaking.
It's scary. Mm-hmm. You know, we should be able to walk out our door, walk to get something to eat, walk to get the newspaper. Stuff is happening everywhere, but something definitely needs to be done about the crime.
Pastor Brooks tells us that Goins was a son of their executive assistant as well as a brother of their youth manager. In his statement, he went on to say, this reminds us of the need to stand together against gun violence. As for the investigation, Chicago police tell us at this point, no one in custody, no motive.
I ain't gonna lie, when an old head be inside that type of situation, they have PTSD over that. I ain't gonna lie to you, because they be tweaking over the news. You know how the older folks be. Something happened on the news. Now they don't want you to go outside because something happened in the news 40 minutes away from you. Now, if something happened near you and they actually be in it to witnesses, oh yeah, they ain't gonna let that go.
Following the incident, the rideshare driver too would open up about his traumatic experience, explaining how Leal had likely passed away already during the short drive to the hospital.
The rideshare driver whose passenger was shot to death in his car near UIC is opening up about the traumatic experience. 19-year-old Jaleel Goins was shot after getting into Robert Smith's car on Sunday night. Smith says he hit the gas when someone standing outside of the car started shooting. He rushed Goins to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
I was running stop signs and intersections to get away. So at one intersection, I had to stop because there was a car coming through, and then I turned to him and said, hey, I'm going to take you to the hospital. And he said, okay. Then the next time I stopped, I had to stop at a light because there was two cars coming through the intersection, so I couldn't run it immediately. I looked back then, and he wasn't moving anymore.
Police have not made any arrests in this shooting.
The very next day, on the 26th of June, Jeff, together with JB and Q50, would drop their remix to Lil Yachty's popular track Coffin, reusing the beat and making their own version of the song with the same name. The song and music video had obviously been made a long time before Leal's death, but the timing of the drop is still pretty interesting given the title of this track, Coffin. And the music video for Coffin begins with Q50 showing an old video of Z Money to the camera.
I ain't gonna lie, that coffin beat, I ain't gonna lie. I mess with that song, bro. Just because that beat, I really mess with that beat that they use.
As the title of the song is placed on top of it, and the video ends with Q50 making a Z hand sign to the camera, showing that the death of Z Money was certainly playing a major role in their lives at this point. While in the lyrics, Lil Jeff largely continues his usual antics, talking about toting switches and Dracos and killing his ops with face shots, as well as saying how their ops are sneak dissing and throwing subliminals, before ending his verse by saying how he might rob a rapper next while showing two bust-down watches fully flooded with diamonds on his arm. The implication seemingly...
Now, I don't know if it's true, but Trench's News said they beefing over fake watches, bro. They said the watches that they be taking be fake. I ain't gonna lie to you. How y'all feel about what Trench's News said on the watches that they be beefing over?
Being that Jeff was already deep in his habit of robbing people of their watches at this point, with him even rapping that he might rob a rapper that just signed a record deal. And for the record, these watches are serious licks. These aren't vintage Datejusters we're talking about. The two watches being shown off in this video are serious pieces. One is an iced out Rolex Day Date, which would be worth at least 33.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, if Trench's News see this video, he gonna say something different. I don't know. Trench's News from the city. I might have to believe Trench's News. I don't know nothing about watches though. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. But do y'all really think they spending 30 bands on a rollie? You think they doing that?
$3,000 if real, and the other appears to be a fully iced out Audemars Piguet Royal Oak chronograph with Arabic numerals. Now, I'm not saying that this watch is definitely fake, but I did do a lot of digging and I couldn't find a single listing for an AP in two-tone with the same dial layout and the Arabic numerals like the one Jeff's wearing in this.
You see, when Trap Breezy say he ain't find nothing on it, and Trench's News say it's already fake, I'ma have to go with it being fake now. Trap Breezy just confirmed what Trench's News said.
This video, like, I couldn't find one at all. It doesn't exist. But I did find very similar configurations to the watch that Jeff's wearing, going for around $50,000 to $70,000. Perhaps it's an AP that's been customized, or perhaps it's fake, as I did find a very similar looking fake one for less than $600. But
yeah, you most definitely gonna be able to find a similar fake look. You gonna find the exact model if you looking for a fake one. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That's how people be knowing right there. When you see the fake model and you can't find nothing on the real one, we were like, yeah, we already know.
But anyway, after dropping the song Coffin, Jeff would take a few months long hiatus from dropping new music, but he would still remain active on social media. During one Instagram live from this period that's still available online, Jeff describes how they are the reason their ops are dead or in a wheelchair, before Q50 notices someone who appears to be from Trap City commenting on the live how Jeff and Q50 are sharing the same Marnie mask, to which Q50 reacts by beginning to clap his hands, while putting on a smile that can only be described as devious, giving Jeff a run for his money for the #1 Joker of Chirac.
We're the reason they in a wheelchair, they got shot or they brought a man.
Hey, who you talking about, boy?
Hey.
We was just talking on the phone, we was just cool, so who the fuck you talking about?
They said we sharing a Marnie mask. So first grade, we just had a mask that we, you know. That's the hat.
What the fuck is that? That's a hat.
That's just like this.
The clapping of hands would eventually become somewhat of a trademark for Q50 when referring to killing ops or getting back for Z-Money.
Y'all move out here. Everybody probably see y'all got the Z-Money tattoo on your face. It's probably real noticeable.
You know that. You see, that's that related. That's that give back from my man.
Bro said it's real noticeable. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's not that noticeable. I mean, I feel like his is a little bit more noticeable. I couldn't really notice Lil Jeff stuff like that.
That's that get back for my man. That's that get back for my man.
Y'all basically let us know who that is too. We see y'all keep his name alive every chance y'all get.
That's cuz. That's our cousin, folks. Me and folks cousin.
You see photos, he don't spend
real sandbox, baby.
Let us know like the impact he had on the hood.
You see it tatted on my face. You see
that? Hey, look, relentless. Relentless.
It's brothers.
That's a that's look. Hey, look. The same I cried about, you know.
Anyway, more Trap City members would soon enter the chat, aiming their disses particularly at Q50, saying how he just came outside in 2020 and pointing out that he has Z-Money tatted on his face but hasn't even known him for over 5 years, as well as saying,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bro was bapping talking about, yeah, it's noticeable. Unless he was talking about Q50, because I didn't know Lil Jeff tattoo.
Saying that he used to be just a gamer, to which Q50 would once again respond simply by clapping at the camera.
Hey, why do niggas talk about niggas running? Oh, ain't no ever have you running, folks.
Hey, look though, folks.
They got no money on racks, man. Hey, hold on. Even if folks came outside yesterday, guess what?
What they say, I can't see no.
A lot of niggas ain't even gonna bounce.
He said Q50.
They said came outside, got that man on my dead grandma L's roof. Come on now. On first grade, I've been just
Hey, L's, just start doing used to ride horses in the hood.
This back and forth would only.
He said folks used to ride horses in the hood. That's crazy. I ain't gonna bap to you riding horses in the hood. I haven't never seen nobody ride a horse in the hood. Except for in Gary, Indiana. I seen three people riding a horse in the hood. They was black people riding a horse in the hood, bro. Down the streets of Gary, bro. Abandoned houses all around. I don't know what was they doing, why was they doing that, but they were just tripping.
Intensify, with Vert now addressing Trap City explicitly, while Q50 would reminisce about the times that he allegedly made Trap City members run, before the discussion would eventually turn to Leal, with Jeff saying how he can't even smoke with you if you don't smoke Leal.
I wasn't even talking about them because they had some goofy to me now, because I wasn't even talking about them. I ain't even said that about 67.
Yeah,
they had straight peons from me. They did it themselves. I wasn't even talking about them. They came trying to come into my life and be funny. Yeah, folks used to ride horses. Why you talking about some this, that? You know all that. I see where it is. What it is, what is that? 80 of them want to be so cool with 67, and that's what it is. I see that. Oh, man.
They say I woke up, started spinning. That's like you know what I'm saying? That's a compliment. Hey, L's on my dear grandmother's grave. Please go stand on your block right now, and I'll finish you just like I did. You know.
Yeah.
So, folks, can we get half that list live today? Off that Leo?
You don't want to smoke Leo, I ain't trying to match. I ain't gonna lie.
Let's play a new.
You ain't smoking.
It's crazy how they just be talking to each other, just casually dissing each other ops. Like, yeah, woo, I'm finna smoke him. No, I'm finna smoke him. They just casually dissing each other.
my eyes, I can't smoke your eyes.
Then, after taking almost half a year break from dropping new music, Jeff would come out with a new song and music video together with Vert in late December 2023, a track titled Stretched. In the song, Jeff ends his verse by rapping how he caught one of his ops in a bowl, this more specifically meaning a fishbowl, which is a reference to somebody being caught in a car with windows that are not tinted, making them an easy target, with this obviously seeming like a...
I know bro didn't have to Google what is a fishbowl. Do y'all say fishbowl in the UK? Did y'all know? Do y'all know about fish bowls in the UK?
Clear reference to the fact that Lil was caught in a parked rideshare car. Jeff would later make the same fishbowl reference during one of his IG lives, saying how he's trying to catch a shark.
Oh, so that's why he had to explain it. Cause I've been like, bro, why are you explaining what a fishbowl is, bro? Everybody know what a fishbowl is. But you said you don't know what a fishbowl is.
In a shark tank.
I caught in a fishbowl. Trying to see if you will catch a big shark in a fish tank.
And a few months later, in March 2024, the Trap City and Lil dissing would continue as Jeff and Vert released a song and music video titled FTO, a common abbreviation for F the Ops. And on the song, Vert first raps how his old friends have become his ops now, before Jeff comes in, starting his verse with a wild opening line, saying that he left 7 people dead in his city, and this time dissing Lil by name, saying how he's not giving any passes and anyone lacking is getting smoked, before saying how they're smoking on a Lil pack. Later that same month, Jeff and JB Bin Laden would release their song and music video titled Run But Can't Hide, where Jeff raps just like Vert in the previous song that he's now beefing with guys that he used to be so close with that they used to sleep in the same bed. This would be almost word for word the same thing that Jeff's mother would allegedly tell him in a text message, where she appeared to praise him for the murders he was doing in the streets and appearing to be in awe of her son's violent...
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. If your parents out there condoning this type of stuff, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That's not good, bro. That's not good at all. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. With the sword, what's good with the sword? Yo, what's the word, my boy? I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, bro, you already know the path that Birdie gonna go down when your parents out here condoning this type of behavior. I understand this type of behavior from your dad, but if your mom and dad both condoning this behavior, oh yeah, bro, we already know you're gonna be a crash out.
Reputation, saying, "Go ahead, son, your name ringing bells in the streets." I said, "Is that my boy?" And going on to say that she loves to see him sliding on the kids who slept in the same bed as him as a child. With
Yeah, you see, Lil Jeff didn't have no option. He didn't have no other option but to do this after hearing this. We don't condone anything inside this educational documentary.
this old Instagram story from Jeff showing this supposed text exchange with his mother going viral after his death and even getting reactions from channels like No Jumper. Dissing Lil and Trap City had now become a common occurrence in the Bloodhounds' music and would continue like clockwork. In the song No Tomorrow by Q50, Jeff and a rapper called FG Red dropped with a music video in April 2024. Q50 raps how he calls the last dead op from the 67th, aka Trap City, an Uber pack. And this was once again followed by that same month with Jeff's solo song Tony Montana, where Jeff raps how they're killing their ops while the ops are throwing up L's. This once again seemingly being a direct reference to Lil, as Jeff and the Bloodhounds would also make it their habit following the death of Lil to drop L's as a diss to him. In the song 333 by Lil Jeff, Q50, and the honorary Bloodhound member Lil Scoom from a set called The Burley Boys, that would first appear online in May 2024, but would later...
They talking about Lil Scoom. Y'all know Burley. Burley was literally around the corner from me. I stayed on 89th and Buffalo, and Burley was literally around the corner. I was in front of Thornton. They was like behind Thornton. All of them used to be at the port because Thornton had like a little basketball court and all that stuff.
To be released after Jeff's death, together with a music video. Jeff would once again seemingly reference catching Lil inside of a car, saying how Lil saw him and realized he was stuck. Even after his death, new songs would...
I ain't gonna bap to you. Low key, now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't even realize this till right now, bro. Burley Boys sound like a UK name. Because hearing all the UK people, they got lots of boys. Tottenham boys, Madam boys, all types of stuff.
Would keep coming out, where Jeff references catching someone in a drive share car, such as one song that was aptly titled Lift, that seemingly leaked shortly after his death, where Jeff raps how he makes his ops disappear like magic and that somebody shouldn't have been driving in that lift. Jeff himself would also acknowledge that he was dissing Lil in almost every song on his posthumous album, Stepping in Blood, on the song In Your Home. There's also some rumors that Q50 had in fact gotten shot in the leg not long before the murder of Lil.
bro got the Vegeta hairline. How you get the Vegeta hairline at the age of 20? That's crazy. He real life got the Vegeta hairline, bro. He gonna be bald by he turned 30.
Possibly by Trap City, with Jeff and Q50 sometimes seemingly referencing this in their songs. Meanwhile, Trap City members were mourning their loss, with even respected older members like OTF Black and Trap City Rob changing their Facebook profile pictures to pictures of Lil soon after his death. However, the death of Lil would also hit very close to home for even Jeff himself due to his father being from the area that's now part of Trap City, and following his passing, many people who were seemingly close to Jeff's father would post their tributes to Lil. The rapper Tero, who used to be close with Vert before the beef between Drill City and Trap City, would also make a tribute to Lil in late 2023, saying how he wished he could get him back, to which Jeff would troll Tero by liking the post with an emoji that's hugging a heart. No wonder then that the very next day, Tero would repost another picture of him with Lil, this time with a message implying that the next year, the Bloodhounds were going to go extinct. This post now seemingly eerily prophetic, giving what would indeed take place in 2024. But before 2023 would come to a close, two other people would lose their lives under mysterious circumstances, with these two becoming the latest victims of Lil Jeff, according to online rumors. In the early
You see? We gonna end it off right there. I was trying to find a good part to end it off at. And I feel that was a good part to end it off at. You feel me? Now, y'all learning more and more about Bloodhound Little Jeff. You feel me? Trap Reezy made a 3-hour long video. You feel me? That's why I tried to get a little bit more longer time, because this video is long. I ain't gonna lie to you. Out of all your videos, he did a long video with King Von. Lil Jeff, he got a couple other long videos, but these long videos pretty diabolical. But at the end of the day, I guess it's just good quality, you feel me? If you mess with the educational documentaries like this, like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss out on any educational, informational documentaries like this. You said the Patreon be even longer, bro? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I gotta do this Tales of Toronto. I gotta get a water bottle first. brothers, my brethren. Hot breath ass, boy.
had seen in years, but what the police didn't realize at the time was that,
bro, why they popping out like the juggernaut of Call of Duty? If y'all remember Call of Duty, was it Modern Warfare 3 and Survival where the juggernaut came out? You feel me? Do y'all remember that or nah?
Project Traveler wouldn't just take down a gang. It would unravel a political scandal, one that would shake the entire country to its core. By late 2012, Toronto Police's only goal in mind was to bring down the Dixon Bloods, but before they could move in with force, they needed information. The challenge wasn't finding informants, because at the end of the day, everyone had a price. Some wanted cash, others wanted their charges dropped, but the real issue wasn't.
It was a juggernaut in Modern Warfare 3, like the dude that had a whole bunch of armor and stuff up on him. All that armor, and it's hard for him to beat on survival mode.
Quantity, it was credibility. Many so-called informants were master storytellers, fabricating whatever they thought the police wanted to hear. The cops needed real intelligence, not fairy tales. Eventually, they found 10 reliable informants. But even they weren't willing to testify in court. Nobody wanted to become a walking target. Still, the scraps of information they provided helped the cops zero in on key players within the gang. And then came the breakthrough. Towards the summer of 2012, police arrested an unnamed Dixon Bloods member on gun trafficking and possession charges. His name was never made public, leading many to speculate that he was a high-ranking member who decided to turn informant. Whether he was a snitch,
I ain't gonna lie. The way he's sitting down, I was gonna say it looked like he finna snitch. I don't know why. It just looked like they having a very open-hearted conversation right now. And when you having an open-hearted conversation with the police, the detective, that means you snitching. I ain't gonna lie to you. Look like they having a very nice, honest conversation. I ain't gonna bet. Look how close Birdie is to him. Like he like this to him. Like, yeah, that's how you know Birdie snitching when bro sitting down like this to him. Like, yeah, he giving me all the information I need.
Or not, what mattered was the evidence the police extracted from his smartphone.
Look at the hand movement. You know he telling with the hand movement. He telling for sure. I ain't gonna bap to you. You can tell by the hand movement.
The phone was a gold mine. It contained photos of women flaunting guns and stacks of cash, text messages detailing cocaine transactions, and call logs and contacts, leading police to the biggest names in the Dixon Bloods. With this intel, law enforcement identified 11 key figures, the shot callers who police say were running the show. Among them were Libin Siad, Ahmed Diri, Manir Qasim, Abdullahi Haroon, Anthony Smith, Mohammed Katak, and Mohammed.
So many Mohammeds. It's like in Toronto, bro. Like, bro, I feel like personally, bro, with it's so many Mohammeds being out there, oh, they spelt it different. Oh, one Mohammed got 2 M's and one of them got a one. Oh, also, that's how y'all do it. Y'all think just because y'all spell Mohammed different, your kid is unique? Nah, they're not unique. Y'all gotta sauce it up, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like 1,000 Mohammeds at the school, and your kid gonna be 1,001. You don't want to be your kid be the 1,001 kid with Muhammad.
Syed. This was the break police needed. On March 18, 2013, they convinced a judge to grant permission to tap the phones of all 8 Dixon Bloods. This brings us to February 17, 2013, 1 month before Toronto police obtained the wiretaps. At 15 Windsor Drive, a bungalow just a stone's throw away from the Dixon Towers, a social gathering was in full swing. It was a typical Dixon Blood gathering, booze flowed freely, women were everywhere, and crack cocaine was being passed around like party favors.
You see, I was finna say, that's my type of party right there. The females get it lit. Then they said that white. I'm like, nah, bro, I don't be playing with my nose.
But this wasn't just any gathering. Among the revelers was the mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford.
Peter Griffin. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That's crazy. Why would y'all elect him? You see, part of the problem is y'all, bro. Because if y'all electing this guy, bro, that means y'all don't got good judgment. And that's the problem with Toronto right there. Y'all don't got good judgment. That's why y'all mayor is literally out there hanging out with the people that's sliding on the ops, which is crazy.
One of the attendees, Mohammed Syed, aka Gotti, had the foresight to capture the moment. Under the dim glow of the house lights, he pulled out his phone and recorded a video of the mayor smoking crack cocaine with the Bloods. Slurring his words, Ford rambled incoherently while the gang members laughed and partied around him.
You're right wing?
No, they say I'm just right wing.
Oh, yeah.
Radical guy.
Sure.
I'm sort of.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Nope.
He was our best mayor. That's crazy. Bro was y'all best mayor. That says a lot about what's going on. I'm not coming to Toronto. If that's y'all best mayor, I don't want to know about the other mayors then. I don't even want to do my research on them.
First, Gotti kept the video to himself. He knew what he had, a ticking time bomb, something that could either make him rich or dead.
Or even catch a mayor smoking crack.
But just a few weeks later, everything changed.
I ain't gonna lie, me personally, I wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have exposed the video unless the mayor was tweaking. Me personally, I would have told the mayor like, hey bro, I ain't gonna post this video or whatever. Just look out for me. Just look out for me. Make sure I'm good in the streets and your career gonna be good. You feel me? I'm not finna be looking for no clout. As long as Birdie help me, we gonna use that video as a get out of jail card. You feel me? We're gonna be like, hey bro, get us out of jail. We're gonna post that video. He gonna be like, bro, I can't do that. That's gonna mess up my career. This video gonna mess up your career too, my brother. So just choose which one you wanna do.
On March 28th, 2013, Rondo was gunned down after an altercation with rapper Flippa and a Project Originals member named Panda. Mohammed Katek, Rondo's childhood friend, was also injured in the shootout. This wasn't just another gang killing, it was the spark that ignited a scandal. As previously mentioned, Rondo and Katek were two of the 8 Dixon Bloods under police wiretap, so when investigators reviewed Katek's tapped phone calls before and after the shooting, they uncovered something disturbing. The Dixon Bloods were gearing up for war. The calls revealed that members of the gang were stockpiling firearms, arranging shipments from Michigan to Windsor, and preparing to flood Dixon with guns. The Bloods were planning to avenge Rondo's death in full force. Gotti got wind of the brewing war and he wanted no part of it. Luckily for him, he had a way out: the crack video. 4 days after the murder of Rondo, on April 1st, 2013, Toronto Star reporter Robin Doolittle received a call that would change everything. On the other end of the line was a man named Mohammed Farah, aka the broker, who claimed to have access to a video of Toronto Mayor Rob Ford smoking crack cocaine. Farah, acting as a middleman, provided Doolittle and her editors with proof: a photo of 3 Dixon Bloods posing with the mayor in front of the Windsor Road trap house. The men in the picture were Rondo, Manir Kasim, and Mohammed Katek. According to Farah, he was brokering the deal for Gotti, who was in fear for his life. With Rondo dead and the neighborhood heating up, he wanted the first flight out of Dixon City. His ticket? $100,000 for the crack video. If he could sell it, he could start over somewhere far away from Dixon. Doolittle and her team at the Toronto Star wanted the tape, but something went wrong. Farah stopped responding to calls, and it wasn't because he had given up. He had taken the video to someone else. Instead of dealing with the Toronto Star, Farah approached John Cook, the editor of Gawker, a New York-based media outlet known for its explosive headlines. John flew to Toronto and was personally shown the footage of the crack video. This was no rumor, it was real, and Gawker was ready to pay up. They managed to raise $200,000 to purchase the video, but just like before, the deal collapsed. When Gawker reached out to Gotti himself, he claimed the video was gone and it was all a lie. But that wasn't true. The video still existed. It was stored on Gotti's phone, hidden inside a red pencil box in his apartment. But Gotti wasn't about to hand it over. He was caught in a dangerous game. Word had spread that he had the tape. In Dixon, that wasn't just bad news, it was a death sentence. Anyone could come after him. The Bloods, the police, even the mayor's people. If the wrong person got to him first, he wouldn't live to see the payout.
Yeah, he tweaked. He tweaked. I ain't gonna lie. I would have been mad at him. If that was my people's, I would be like, bro, why is you doing this, bro? First of all, bro, you trying to get off on a video, bro, and then take all the money, bro. Like, bro, you trying to mess up our connections. Like, bro probably connecting them into a lot of stuff. And you trying to mess all that up just because you need some extra money? Yeah, I would have got on that with Birdie. I ain't going back to you.
Meanwhile, Rob Ford was making headlines, but not for the video. Well, not yet at least. Instead, the world was unknowingly watching his substance addiction take a toll on him in real time.
And as he rushes around to confront the member of the public, he knocks over Councillor Pam McConnell, holding on to her before she hits the floor.
Y'all should have impeached Brody. Y'all should have impeached him. Why was he even still in office?
Olivia Gondak, it says that I wanted to eat her Olivia Gondak. I've never said that in my life to her. I would never do that. I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home.
Bro said he got more than enough to eat at home. I ain't gonna lie to you. The way you responded, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think you wanted to eat them. I ain't gonna lie, you bapping.
Drunken outbursts, slurred speeches, strange disappearances. It was clear something was wrong with the mayor of Toronto, but no one knew just how deep the scandal would go. By April 2013, the mayor had become a regular at the 15 Windsor Trap House, a hub for Dixon Bloods. It wasn't just about illicit meetings or casual dealings. Ford was deeply involved, smoking crack, using heroin, and likely putting his life and career at risk by mingling with the very gang that had been under intense investigation for months. The toll was evident. Ford's erratic behavior and decline in public appearances were becoming harder to ignore. But it wasn't just his professional life at stake. His personal demons were being played out behind closed doors in the most dangerous circles of Toronto's underworld. On April 20th, 2013, at 12:52 a.m., police wiretaps revealed an incoming call from Gully, a now high-ranking member of the Dixon Bloods. The call was coming from the Trap House. The conversation was with Elena Basso, also known as Princess, the owner of the residence. Princess informed Gully that Ford and his friend Sandro Lisi were at the house looking to score some drugs. Gully agreed to come over.
What?
Hello?
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, what's going on?
He's here.
Who?
He's here.
Who this?
Rob.
Who?
Rob Ford.
Moments later, Abdullahi Haroon, another well-known member of the gang, called Gully, reiterating the need for him to deliver the drugs to the mayor and his friend.
Yeah, go to Princess's crib. Rob Ford wants some chocolate.
Hours later, after Gully had met with Ford,
he talking about go. Rob Ford, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. He one of their best clients. I see why they want him around, bro. You got easy bread being cool with him. I ain't gonna lie to you. And you could wax him. I know they overly taxing him, bro. They treated him like a goofy.
He called Haroon back, detailing the encounter. Haroon mentioned that Ford has previously gotten super high on heroin and had been photographed while using the drug. Haroon also told Gully to keep any pictures of Ford, as they'd be valuable, both as leverage and for the street credibility they could provide the gang. The photographs, now a currency of power, would be used to further bind Ford to their world. But the scandal didn't end with photos. Several hours later, Sandro Lisi called Gully, inquiring about Ford's missing phone, a phone that had been swiped by Juice Man, an acquaintance of Gully's, during the chaotic night at the Trap House.
Yeah, you met me yesterday, bro. You were drinking tequila with me. Yeah, what's good? What's up, bro? You guys grabbed the mayor's phone last night.
No.
Yeah?
Honest to God, I never took no phone.
Well, you or your boy grabbed the phone, bro. We need it back.
I never took no phone, honest to God.
Okay, we gotta figure this out, bro. Rob's freaking out. He needs his phone.
Bro, think just because you don't look like the type of person that's gonna be truthful, even if you put it on God. You look like the type of person that would lie on God. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You gotta call your boy right now and you gotta get that phone back, okay, bro?
Alright, give me a little bit. I'm gonna come by.
Bro, we need that phone ASAP, eh? This is the mayor we're talking about, eh?
I know. Give me a little bit.
Bro, he can put heat on all of this, and if things don't go the way they're supposed to go today, you know that, right?
This is the exact moment when Toronto's police force realized the mayor wasn't just a casual bystander in the city's underworld, he was an active participant. To diffuse the tension surrounding the missing phone, Gully and Juice Man decided to meet with Sandro Lisi at 41 Blackfriar Avenue. In this face-to-face encounter, they handed over Ford's phone in exchange for an undisclosed amount of weed. This arrangement seemed to smooth things over. No more animosity, no more tension. Everything was now all good for the Dixon Bloods.
So they did have the phone. This is what I mean. They be lying on God. They say, oh yeah, on God I ain't do it. But then guess what? They actually did it. That's crazy.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with new developments about Toronto's mayor.
There's a cell phone video that shows the mayor allegedly smoking a crack pipe.
What?
And using expletives. The video is reportedly being shopped around by a group of Somali men involved in the drug trade.
There are reports a video exists allegedly showing someone who resembles the mayor smoking what looks.
I ain't gonna lie. I paused at a little bad angle. Bad picture, but she looked cute. I ain't gonna
like to be crack cocaine.
They say in broad daylight, essentially, here is the mayor smoking crack cocaine with a pipe.
On May 16, 2013, the world learned of Rob Ford's crack scandal. As news outlets scrambled to report on the breaking story, wiretaps caught the moment several Dixon Bloods discovered the shocking revelation.
Yo, nigga, bro, go to TorontoStar.com.
I can't. I don't have no internet. Why?
You heard about that?
No, what happened?
It says that there's Somali drug dealers shopping around a video of the mayor.
Shut the up.
Meanwhile, Sandro Lisi, Ford's friend and associate, was making countless calls to members of the Dixon Bloods, issuing chilling threats. He promised to flood Dixon City with cops unless the gang could figure out who recorded the video and where it was being kept.
Hello? Yo, Tim. Yeah, who this? The guy from that day, remember? The phone? Hey, listen, if you can get to the bottom of it, see what you can do. Yeah, I'm not even in the video. Somebody's trying to put out a video, bro. Somebody's trying to put out a video? Of what? Yeah. Of him. Huh? Of what? Of him. If the video gets leaked, bro, I'm gonna be up Dixon's ass like this, back and up and down these streets of cops you get done for. Well, who said that? The military cop guy.
Yeah, and the Rob Ford's driver's calling you and saying you're dead. So what? Well, he's saying you're dead. Everybody in your block is dead.
Hello? Yo, Tim, you see the heat, bro?
You see, they tweaking, messing around with the mayor, because now he could really get the police involved. And what you gonna do? What you gonna do that the corrupt mayor is trying to lock you up for doing something you ain't supposed to do? You see, that's why I've been like, bro, y'all playing crazy right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why I've been like, bro, whoever exposed that video, they not thinking. You is a part of a gang, bro. You not know you exposing him being around y'all doing stuff you not supposed to do. Yeah, you exposing him, but y'all is doing stuff you not supposed to do too. So y'all basically exposing y'all self as well, you feel me? Because y'all the ones that's giving it to them. Have y'all thought about like, man, they gonna be like, yeah, we the ones that's giving it to them. And I think that's more jail time giving it to someone that actually used it. We don't condone anything in this educational documentary.
Bro? Huh? Who's this? You see the heat on Dixon, bro? What happened? It's gonna get worse, bro. It's gonna tell all your boys it's gonna get worse and worse.
Hey, I'm not involved, buddy. I'm not involved in this.
I'm just telling you, tell your boys the message, right? The whole place is gonna get heated up.
Yeah, listen,
all summer, bro. All summer, phone gets back. The whole place is gonna get sick right up.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not involved in this.
Yeah? Bro, I'm just telling you, put the message out to your people.
Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
All right.
It didn't take long for them to figure out Gotti was the one responsible for recording the video, but he was now trying to play it down. In the meantime, Ford was keeping his distance from the public eye, but the pressure was mounting. On May 17th, Ford appeared in front of cameras for the first time since the scandal broke, looking disheveled and clearly overwhelmed. Off to the side of the cameras, David Price, a staffer of Ford's, received a call from an unknown source, providing details about the drug dealers who allegedly had the video. The caller gave the names Gotti and D, as well as phone numbers and the address, 320 Dixon Road, 17th floor. 4 days later, on May 21st, 2013, Abdullahi Haroon and Abdulkadir Bihi were shot on the 17th floor of 320 Dixon Road. That very
Dang, I ain't gonna lie to you. You playing with the person that could get all y'all information. Y'all ain't think about that, you feel me? But now you dealing with it the hard way.
same day, an unknown male stormed into the 15 Windsor Road trap house and assaulted Fabio Basso, the son of Princess. Though Fabio spoke with police, he refused to give details on the identity of his attacker or the motive for the assault. The violence was reaching new extremes, and the gang was beginning to understand the severity of their predicament. On May 26th, Rob Ford held his first press conference to address the ongoing scandal.
I do not use crack cocaine, nor am I an addict of crack cocaine.
When asked about the video, the mayor firmly denied it, as did his public relations team. But despite Ford's denials, Toronto police already knew the truth. This marked the beginning of Project Brazen 2, an operation focused on investigating both the mayor and his close associate, Sandro Lisi, who was deeply entangled with the Dixon Bloods. While City Hall was up in flames, Dixon City became increasingly volatile. The Dixon Bloods knew that Gotti was responsible for the video, and they were angry. Gully, a prominent figure in the gang, called Gotti, demanding that he fix the situation. But Gotti continued to deny having the video, claiming everyone was overreacting.
I ain't gonna lie, he looked like that dude, DC Young Fly. I ain't gonna bap to you. He looked like he the type of person that I get mad looking at, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Especially after what he did, because you messed up everybody's stuff. You messed up the mirror life, your gang life, everybody's life. And you didn't even get the money for the video, I don't think. That's crazy.
Acting.
The man is gonna bring sex to my house, bro. I don't want that to happen, bro. The man knows my everything. You know everything about me, man. Me too, you dickhead, but there's no video. These guys are not gonna get no video over the pen.
Gully knew Gotti was lying, and so did the rest of the Dixon Bloods, so they began plotting to force him to come clean and put an end to the chaos. On May 29th, Gotti was kidnapped by Syed and Abdi and Ahmed Farah, the brother of the broker. The two men interrogated him, pressing him about the video. The pressure was too much for Gotti to handle. He broke down, claiming that he had destroyed the video and that his family was in danger because of it. Syed and Abdi then warned Gotti that if he was seen in Dixon, he would be killed. After about an hour of captivity, Gotti was released, but the chaos in Dixon City was just beginning.
Welcome to CBC News Toronto. I'm Dwight Drummond.
I'm Anne-Marie Meadowake. A street gang on the brink of extinction.
That's what Toronto police hope is the case with the Dixon Bloods. More than 24 alleged gang members were rounded up in yesterday's raids.
All he told me was it's not only your unit, it's the whole building, and this is happening because of Rob Ford.
On June 13th, 2013, Project Traveler reached its explosive climax. Toronto police executed a series of coordinated raids across Dixon and Windsor, targeting key members of the Dixon Bloods. During the operation, police seized 40 firearms, $572,000 in cash, $3 million worth of drugs, and made approximately 60 arrests. Notable arrests include Gotti, Gully, the broker, Mohammed Katek, Abdulkadir Bihi, Manir Qasim, and Abdullahi Haroon.
You see, and goofy folks, he started all this. He sent the video out trying to expose people, and he ended up getting locked up. You see, that's crazy, bro. He messed up his own life as well.
One of the key pieces of evidence seized during the operation was Gotti's laptop, which contained the infamous crack video. This marked one of the largest gang takedowns in Toronto's history, effectively crippling the Dixon Bloods' operations and signaling the end of their reign of terror over the area. A few months later, in October 2013, Toronto Police Chief Bill Blair announced to the public that they had recovered a copy of the crack video. He also confirmed that Sandro Lisi was facing extortion charges for threatening several members of the Dixon Bloods over the video.
I have been advised that we are now in possession of a recovered digital video file relevant to the investigations that have been conducted. They have this morning taken into custody a Mr. Sandro Lisi and laid a charge of extortion with respect to the evidence that has been collected.
On November 5th, 2013, after months of denial and evasion, Rob Ford finally admitted to smoking crack cocaine about a year earlier while in one of his drunken stupors. He claimed that he was not an addict and insisted that he had no memory of the video, adding that he had never lied about its existence. Ford explained that reporters hadn't asked him the right questions, which is why he had.
Nah, bro, it's because you too fried. You too fried. That's why. He probably didn't remember the video. He did remember the video. But if he didn't remember the video, it's because he be taking all that stuff. So either way, it don't help your case.
He had previously denied the video's existence.
You asked me a couple questions, and what were those questions?
Do you smoke crack cocaine?
Exactly. Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
When,
But
sir?
no, do I? Am I an addict? No.
When have you
Have I
smoked
tried it? Probably in one of my drunken stupors, probably approximately about a year ago. I answered your question. You asked the question properly, I'll answer it.
The fallout from Ford's admission was swift and severe. It only fueled the already heated public debate about his fitness for office.
Yeah, right. What about Apollo Beauty? Answer the questions. Answer one of the million questions people have for you. I don't want his card. I know what this guy's all about. Answer the questions. People have a million questions about your lying, your corruption. You're a corrupt, lying, racist, homophobe. Answer the people's questions.
Meanwhile, the Dixon
Yeah, we don't condone anything inside this educational documentary.
Bloods were left reeling from the combined pressure of the police takedown and the scandal that had brought them into the spotlight. Their connections to Ford were now public knowledge, and their ability to operate with impunity in Dixon City had been shattered. The events surrounding Project Traveler, the crack video, and the subsequent police investigations exposed the ties between Toronto's criminal underworld and its political elite, leaving a lasting impact on the city. In 2015, trial for several high-profile figures arrested during Project Traveler began. Ahmed Abdullahi, one of the leaders of the Dixon Bloods, was sentenced to 12 years in prison, while Nemo Warsame, a courier, received 6 years for gun trafficking and gang crimes. These were high-risk crimes to facilitate more high-risk crimes, Judge Brian Trafford said as he sentenced the two Dixon Bloods. Both must serve half their prison terms before they can apply for parole. Then on July 21, 2015, Gotti pleaded guilty to 5 charges, admitting his involvement with the Dixon City Bloods and his role in trafficking guns and drugs. For his involvement, Gotti was sentenced to 8 years in prison. Meanwhile, Gully received a 5-year prison sentence for his actions. Other members of the gang, including
And then they said, bro, only had to do half. So, bro, that's not even that much time, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you if you only had to do half of 5 years, 6 years.
Mohammed Khatak and Manir Qasim saw lighter sentences. Both men were handed a suspended sentence and placed on 3 years probation. The case also saw some unexpected developments. The broker had all charges withdrawn, despite facing 5 charges including possession of proceeds of crime. Lastly, Sandro Lisi was cleared of all charges, despite his role in the events surrounding the crack video and extortion threats against multiple Dixon Bloods. The Rob Ford and Dixon Blood saga may have come to an official end in 2015 with the fallout from Project Traveler, but for the streets of Dixon City, the violence and power struggles were far from over.
You see, bro, I'm gonna end it right there, because I feel that's a good spot to end it at, because we found out what happened to the mayor. What happened to the mayor was he's corrupt like most city officials, but I gotta go do something real fast, and I didn't want to have the video running. Wow, I'll go do something. But if you like educational, informational documentaries like this, then go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss out on any educational, informational documentaries like this. I'm gonna be right back. Okay. I'm just putting this pizza in the oven real fast. I ain't gonna fast you. Set a timer for 15 minutes. I had to put a piece in the oven. Why Dave's brother is in jail. Alright, let me see why Dave's brother is in jail.
You know what's funny is
Everybody know about Dave, especially if you're from the UK. But do y'all know about Dave's brother? Yeah, his brother is in jail. Why is his brother in jail though? You see, lots of people don't even know he got a brother. And if you do know he got a brother, you probably didn't know he was in jail. Unless you really know about Dave. So let's find out why his brother is in jail.
as well. Before I met Santander, I met his brother in jail. I never knew and his brother didn't tell.
One of the most successful rappers out of the UK is Dave, and he has a brother that has an interesting story that was sentenced to a long stretch in jail. His story hasn't really been covered in detail, so we're going to get into it today.
Never had a breakdown, driving to Cockham Wood and a whip and it breaks down, and you're stressing the visit cause your brother's running late now. You ain't never felt numb and seen your older brother's face in a paper and you're looking at your mum and she's lifeless. I had to phone just real shit on my mum's, all the phone calls I made for the
bro, he rap he going aggressive with it. He feel them lyrics for sure.
I was never on my ones, I had to read this from the jump.
Christopher is the name of Dave's brother, born in 1994, was a 16-year-old boy at the time of this incident in 2010 from South London. He was part of a group from a school in Streatham that had ongoing tensions with a rival group from a school in West London. These tensions were fueled on social media, and it set the stage for this fatal incident. Sofin, a 15-year-old boy from Acton, was killed at Victoria Tube Station during rush hour. The attack involved up to 20 teenagers armed with knives, a samurai sword and other weapons.
So you telling me his brother was a crash out? Yeah, we don't condone any of that stuff. And then a samurai sword. Why? Why do you need a samurai sword? First of all, Where did you even get that from? Like, first of all, I think it's kind of hard to get a samurai sword. Well, it's not hard to get a samurai sword if you really want it, but it's kind of hard to find one just randomly. Just, oh, you go into the store, do you find a samurai sword? And I know it's way harder for y'all to get a samurai sword. So how did you get a samurai sword, bro? That got to be your great grandpappy's.
Sophian was chased into the ticket hall and stabbed 9 times, including fatal wounds to his lungs and chest, and was beaten in a 12-second assault witnessed by commuters.
Bro, how can you get it online though, bro? Because it's like, I'm pretty sure, don't they got like restrictions on where like you get it sent to? Because I know in America, bro, like certain states, if they got like gun laws, like for example, Illinois, if I try to order me a gun online, they gonna say, oh yeah, woo wop the bam. In your state, you're not allowed to have it. You feel me? So that's why I be like, don't it like have a little law thing where it's like being where you can't be getting nothing shipped out there too, you feel me? Oh yeah, you can do that too. I wouldn't be thinking no one would go that far for a sword, but I guess the UK people would do that for a sword, you feel me? We don't condone that, YouTube.
It was as Sophian tried to make his escape here at Victoria Station that he stumbled and the group caught up with him.
I ain't gonna lie, she kind of cute. She kind of cute. Her nose big though, I ain't gonna bap to you.
Then, in front of hundreds of commuters, they launched a frenzied attack. In just 12 seconds, he was stabbed 10 times and suffered 20 separate injuries.
Oh, what? They got the bionic arm, bro? He was... Bro, they was over whooping with that. I ain't gonna back to you. We do not condone that in this documentary.
This case stood out to the public so much because it was in broad daylight with numerous people around. It wasn't a late night ride out of a gang rivalry. It was a situation of school kids in public, and it was graphic.
One of the attackers had a kind of a long implement in their hand, and they...
Not all the reporters. I seen some reporters that was like, but lots of them, they do be slight decent. I ain't gonna back to you.
Made a kind of a stabbing motion on the boy who was being attacked, and he was trying to get himself up off the floor.
The day before the attack, the police broke up a fight between the teenagers from rival schools. But using Facebook and Instant Messenger, they quickly organised another confrontation. The girl seen here is Victoria Osateku. On the day of the attack, she headed to a shop close to her college and filled her pink bag with kitchen knives later used to kill Sophian.
Oh, no. No. This how y'all coming in the UK? They gotta ban kitchen knives from y'all. At this point, bro, they should only sell butter knives to y'all. Because y'all out here tweaking. I never heard nobody getting a whole bunch of kitchen knives to slide on the ops. That's diabolical. I ain't gonna bap to you. That's diabolical.
These are the teenagers on a bus before and after the attack. Dozens were to be arrested.
Christopher was identified as a key participant. One of the murder weapons, a knife, was found in his bag after the police intercepted a bus the group fled on. This evidence significantly influenced his sentencing. Police had launched a major investigation, actually arresting 20 suspects over the following week. CCTV footage and witness statements, Christopher and others as central figures. The case treated as a joint enterprise.
Bro, I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. Folks look like, I don't know what he looked like. He looked like something funny, though. And Birdie looked funny, too.
Meaning all participants were held liable for the murder, regardless of who struck the fatal blow.
And you can see the weapons hanging out of the, I think it's his pocket. Wow. So most people looking at this would seem like you are looking at a group of, you know, young gang members or a gang.
But far from it. Most of the 20 teenagers charged with Sophian's murder were ordinary school kids who attended St. Charles Sixth Form College in Ladbroke Grove, 4 miles away from Sophian's school.
April 2012.
Yeah, that's crazy. So wait, they was in college? Because I heard they say college, so what, they was like 18 or something? I don't know. I don't know how it go, because I heard them say college. So, you feel me? Yeah, this even say college right here, you feel me? We don't condone anything in this documentary.
Christopher, now 18, was convicted of murder and conspiracy to cause grievous body harm. 8 others were also convicted of various charges related to Sophin's death, including murder and manslaughter.
Its verdict, after a long trial, and certainly one which is as serious as this one had been, it's a moment of great tension.
2 years after Sophian's death, Christopher Omoreji and Obi Nwake were convicted of murder, having been captured on CCTV attacking Sophian and arrested with bloodied weapons.
Do you think they meant to kill? Do you think they...
That was their intention. If you have weapons, that's what...
If you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Your intention is. So if you're holding that knife, you're making that choice where you're going to stab someone.
This was a brutal incident. Even a woman was seen on CCTV kicking the boy in the head after he was fatally stabbed at the tube station.
But what's she doing that for? People just be wanting to lock her up. Since you want to be involved, lock whoever did that up. I ain't going back to you.
And a witness said that she had been gloating about what happened the following day at her sixth form college. The judge even said you was seen delivering the final blow to Sophin as you was the last of the group to run away. Sophin's mother actually reacted angry to the sentence, saying she's disgusted she got 12 years and she'll only serve half. She's an adult and she should have got life. Hey,
I ain't gonna lie to you. Looking at her eyes, I think she might be a baddie up under that hijab.
Planned the whole thing.
Victoria Oshateku was the only girl involved in this attack. She was also the oldest defendant. She was said to be one of the main instigators the day before that clash at Victoria Station. She went to Argos and bought a set of knives which she handed out to different members of the group. Now, as we know, Sofiane Belamouden was chased by a large number of youths through Victoria Station. He ran down the stairs literally for his life, but he fell over in the ticket area where the group caught up with him. He was stabbed 9 times in 12 seconds, and Oshateku is said to have kicked him in the head as he lay dying on the floor. Well, today the judge sentenced her to 12 years detention.
Why am I clapping it up, bro? She needs to be in jail. She needs to be in jail. We do not condone anything in this educational documentary. And it's like, for her to just want to be involved like that, I feel since you want to be involved so bad, bro, you need to go to jail. Just because you want to do all that extra stuff. Like, why is you doing that to Birdie? Yeah, like, nah, that's diabolical, bro.
Sentence which Sofiane's mother and aunt both felt was far too short.
The victim's family also spoke to the press as well, talking about how they was devastated and their life's been ruined.
At the end of the day, I have already been sentenced to life, and so have my family, and so have my children, and nothing is going to change that.
We have a life sentence. We're the real victims here. My sister who's lost her son, me, our lives has been shattered.
The judge described...
Did they just say they the real victims? Because people got life in prison? Hold up. I know that's not what I just heard, bro. Because I be like, bro, that's very inconsiderate. If you said that, I ain't going back to you, bro. That's pretty wild, bro.
This attack as both ferocious and merciless. He told Oshateku she needed to share her responsibility in the killing because she'd gone and bought those knives. After the sentencing, she stood up and walked down to the cells without looking back.
Well, a lot of times we see a woman's involvement in the setting up of the situation, and it actually says on here that she's one of the teenagers responsible for setting up.
Oh, wait, no, she wasn't saying nothing about life. I didn't even understand what she was saying when she was talking about life in prison. Who the real victims? Who the real victims for life in prison? I didn't know what she even was talking about, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
Up the whole fight. The A-level students sent messages by phone on Facebook arranging the clash between pupils from rival schools. As for Dave's brother, he was given a minimum term of 18 years in jail, and at the time Dave was just 13 years old. On the song Hangman, he referenced his brother's sentence, saying, "My brother ain't got a bird, he got an ostrich." Over the years, Dave has paid tribute to his brother numerous times, who was serving a long stretch. Actually, Psychodrama was released. Dave dropped his debut album, Psychodrama, which won critical acclaim. The album's content was inspired by Christopher's prison therapy program, Psychodrama, a group therapy method. The track Drama featured Christopher's voice from a prison phone call, reading a Bible. But we do get into some controversy around Dave supporting his brother publicly. So September 19, 2019, Dave won the Mercury Prize, and in his acceptance speech he thanked Christopher, saying, "This is your story that we told. I know you're watching this, bro." And in the Daily Mail straight after, and Sky News reported that Sophin's mother was in outrage, calling it disgusting that a murderous voice was celebrated. She criticized that.
Oh, that was the person mama. Oh, I ain't gonna lie. I thought this was the mama of one of the kids that did it. I was confused, bro. But yeah, bro, I'll be mad too, bro. I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. They did that diabolical stuff, and then your brother, famous, rich, getting millions of views, talking about the stuff that he did to your child. That's pretty diabolical. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. And it looked like she a baddie under that her job. So that's make it even worse, bro. Why are you doing this to the baddies, bro? We don't condone this.
Album's audience as people under the influence and questioned the morality of the award. This shifted media focus from Dave's artistry to the ethics featuring Christopher on that album because of what happened in the 2010 case. Fast forward to 2020, we got an update on how Dave's brother's doing in prison. Christopher said a prison report described Christopher as a bright man with an excellent disciplinary record. He began studying physiology and psychology via Open University and expressed very high remorse and even drafted a letter to Sophin's family. He actually got a year knocked off his sentence in 2022 under the Criminal Justice Act of 2003, which allows tariff reductions for exceptional progress. Evidence included his therapy success and his achievements and his remorse. The judge reduced the minimum term by 1 year from 18 to 17, meaning he could apply for parole in March 2027 instead of 2028. This doesn't seem like a lot compared to his whole sentence, but
I mean, anything knocked off is good. Like, you feel me? Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's like you got a whole year back.
But anything you can get off when you got a sentence this long is worth it. I'm sure Dave, being a multi-millionaire, was willing to pay any amount for lawyers to get that reduction, and if he could give any amount of money, he would do it to get his brother out. But no matter how much money Wiley pays, it seems he can never come back to social media. We broke down in detail what happened to him.
That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I didn't know that was what's going on with Dave, and then Dave ended up making a song about it. If I was Dave, bro, I would have said free my brother, but I wouldn't have put like speaking on it like too like, oh yeah, too highly of it, just because it's like you don't want to speak on that type of stuff, especially if you're a award-winning artist. And that type of situation is a little bit differently than like sliding on the ops type stuff, you feel me? But we do not condone anything in this educational documentary. But if you watch this video all the way through, I know you're going to mess with other educational, informational documentaries like this. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss out on any documentaries like this. give it like 3 more minutes up in that motherfucker. You feel me? I'm gonna take that bitch out. Let me see what I'm gonna do. Yo, what's the word, my boy? Yeah, yo. I'll be high. I was just in Place Cody. Always. All right, we're gonna check out that Get Money Gang versus them African boys. I ain't going back to you. That's some UK stuff. ain't even do it. I'm gonna see what's to it. I ain't gonna lie. My main focus on this live stream is trying to do viral content so I can get done with doing TikTok. And the only thing that's really gonna be able to help me go up fast is UK and Toronto. But I'm gonna do other stuff too. But I'm really specifically trying to find UK content and Toronto content today because that's what's really gonna get me up so I can be able to get off of YouTube. Cause I'll be doing other reactions, but lots of that stuff don't get views for real outside of Toronto and Canada. You feel me? Like some of the stuff it be like hit or miss. Like sometimes it do up, but yeah, really thing that I know that's gonna really be doing it is that. But now I'm gonna I'll check out the Warren County stuff because I'm gonna be on live for a little minute. You feel me? So I'll do that too. But yeah, I'm doing another UK video. Gonna try to find another Toronto video. Yeah, I do the Warren County. I do those too because those be short. I know those don't really be getting views on my page. The UK. Man, the UK and Canada. Yo, my boy Gambino. Yeah, that's what really, I don't know why, but on my page, that shit would really do the best for real. I ain't going back to you. Like, UK and Canada, I'll be like, shit. For me to go up, bro, I'll be like, I've been looking at, when I be doing my, like, before they was famous videos, all the people that end up going up, they see what working, they just keep on doing the shit that work. But of course, I'm gonna do other videos too, cause I ain't just gonna do just UK and Toronto. But I want to try to upscale my UK content, Toronto content. You feel me? Instead of getting like one video out of them a day, I probably want to try to get 3 Toronto videos or Canada videos, 3 UK videos, and like probably like 3 just like probably like American. And like do like 1 Netherlands. I got people. The thing is, a big part of why I'm not at the thing that I was supposed to be at is because when I had all the opportunities, I was in a relationship. And a relationship really set you back a lot. I ain't gonna lie. People be like, why don't I get inside a relationship? Relationship was really damn near like a big setback. Like I had lots of females wanting to do collabs, all types of shit, and females just complaining. It's down the third, and now you feel me? I got all that stuff and stuff too. Really, these dogs. Dogs was a big setback too, because I'm taking care of the dogs. My ex couldn't take care of the dogs the right way and all that. I don't want to get rid of my dogs. Yeah, because really, I could have moved to the A, got a little apartment for the same prices I'm paying for the house. If I got an apartment, then A, it's just more expensive to get a house out there, do all that stuff. But yeah, really, dogs being inside a relationship, I do little collabs when I can, but collabs really didn't really, it don't really like, really, I got more success off of just doing like my own thing because I did videos with NLE Chopper, other like TikTok people that had like a little name and stuff. Lots of this stuff I ended up removing because people ain't really care about it for real. I ain't going back to you. Like, I did the thing with NLE Chopper backstage. That only got like 100,000 views. Then I did some actual content, and then some content that I just be doing, and then end up getting like 1 million songs. So I be like, dog, we be caring about that stuff for real. I'll just start off.
Enfield's an outer London borough located in the north of London. It sits amongst boroughs with the highest income inequality in London. The out-of-work benefit claim rate is also very high at 17% of the working age population. A large proportion of the borough's Alright, let's talk Enfield. Enfield's an outer London borough located in the north of London. It sits amongst boroughs with the highest income inequality in London. The out-of-work benefit claim rate is also very high at 17% of the working age population.
So why I say gangbanging? It's not making sense already. You said this one of the best boroughs, but yet we making a gang video on them? Now I'm confused already.
A large proportion of the borough's residents are in low-paid jobs at 28.7% compared to the London average of 20%. Enfield has a relatively high proportion of 19-year-olds without level 3 qualification at 36% compared to the average of 24% across boroughs. Enfield has risen from being the 12th to the 9th most.
Hey bro, hold up, it's not a nice place. What is going on right now? I'm confused. Am I misunderstanding what is going on? Because I thought Birdie just said this is a nice place. But then he said it's people with low income. And then he showed this, which is low income. I don't see no ACs in the windows, but you could tell it's low income.
Deprived London borough between 2015 and 2019. Just under a third of households in the borough are in poverty, as well as 1 in 3 children living in poverty. We know poverty breeds crime, and wherever there's crime there are gangs. Let's have a look at the history of Enfield gangs. DEA, aka Them Africans. Them Africans formed around late 2006, when a group of predominantly African youths who had come over to London from Congo and other African countries began making a name for themselves in Edmonton. Edmonton being a town in Enfield Borough, by the way. They were one of a handful of youth gangs who were emerging at the time in Edmonton. The others were Red Brick Thugs and Grey Gang. Them Africans claimed Edmonton Green as their turf. They were prominent around the green where the 3 tower blocks are situated, and also behind the train station on the revamped.
They couldn't come up with a more creative name? Them Africans. Wow. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. New York, not New York, UK, I feel y'all come up with the worst gang names ever. Y'all got some pretty diabolical gang names.
Barboat Estate. They branded the towers as 1, 2, 3 blocks, and the Barboat Estate was known as 41st. Prominent DA members included Chops, Usher, Black H, G-Man, Negus, Criminal, Puncher, Black H, G-Man, Negus.
You see, this throwing me off. This what be throwing me off, bro. Do y'all not understand that in America, that would be considered, someone would be talking about you if they called you niggas, them African boys. That means someone is making a joke about you if they say that to you. But in the UK, this a whole game. But niggas, I think, is his actual name. But he's a part of them African boys, which is still diabolical.
Criminal, Puncher, Mega, Riddler, etc. DA's main war was with GMG, a gang headquartered in Enfield Island Village and controlling the Enfield Lock area. Their major other conflict was with Grey Gang, who were allied with Shankstars. Now let's take a look at GMG, aka Get Money Gang, formed around Enfield Island Village. Originally was somewhat of an offshoot to the Black Gang from the same area. A young man known as Chaos was the creator of the Get Money Gang, which originated in 2007. Some prominent members include Chaos, Shadow, Combat, Birdie, Chicken. In 2007, the divide of Edmonton started. Edmonton had somewhat been peaceful and close-knit amongst this new generation. All the gangs situated there were calm with each other, much in the same way that Edmonton and Tottenham had been close throughout the 1990s. However, this was about to change. On the 1st of January 2008, 18-year-old Henry Balombi, also known as Black H,
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. These names, it's the names that we would give the dark-skinned kid in middle school. Like, we'll make a joke, be like, hey, that's Black H. Like, if his name was like, if his name started with an H, he was super dark-skinned, we'd be like, that's Black H. It would be a joke. But these is real street names out here, bro. That's diabolical. And Black H is a part of them African boys. Does that not, like, does that, come on now, bro. Y'all really, that sound okay to y'all?
H was attacked by a group of 4 youths in Edmonton as he made his way home from seeing New Year celebration. Black H initially had fled the bus, but was chased by a group who attacked him with a glass bottle, a knife and a broom. The vicious attack sadly...
Glass bottle, knife and a broom. That's a crazy combination. That's a UK combination, if I say so myself.
resulted in the death of Mr. Bolombi. The gang responsible were known as the Everstrap Yardmen and were from Tottenham N17. Onique, 25, a Jamaican national, and Jamal Graham, 25, also a Jamaican national, were convicted of the murder of Black H at the Old Bailey.
No. So y'all telling me in the UK, the Jamaicans is beefing with the Africans? That's diabolical if that's true.
And sentenced to life. Another man involved, known as Martin, fled the country and started a new life on the run in America. After 9 years on the run, he was extradited from North Carolina in September 2017, where he was living under a...
Out of all the places you can go in America, all the states you go, you choose South Carolina or North Carolina, whichever one they just said is trash. Well, I guess that's kind of smart if you don't want no one to find you, because who really finna go looking for you in those places, you feel me? Like, honestly, that's the last place I'd go. I'd probably go to, if I was in Canada, me in the UK, and I was coming to America on the run, I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. I would want to go to a low-key place. I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. Alaska seemed like a cool place to go.
New identity. Mr. Marty was the one who first reached Black H and immediately smashed a glass bottle over his head. He wasn't convicted of murder, however he was convicted of manslaughter and jailed for 11 years. Exactly 3 weeks following Black H's death, Edmonton was rocked by another teenage murder. Louis Baduka, also known by his street name Usher, a member of Them Africans gang, was stabbed to death on Silver Street near the heart of the Red Brick Thugs territory. As I mentioned earlier, Tottenham and Edmonton had historic ties. Red Brick were associated to the Everstrap gang who had killed Black H, and even after his death, Red Brick maintained ties with a Tottenham-based gang, effectively picking a side. At the time of the murder, Usher and another Them Africans gang member called Mega had spotted Kevin Lewis, a Red Brick Fuzz member. They approached Lewis with Usher throwing a punch that knocked him to the ground. This caused Kevin Lewis to draw a knife and stab Usher in the heart, sadly resulting in his death.
I ain't gonna lie. I pictured it inside my head too. This is what I pictured when he said it. He punch him, he fall down like this. He get up, back. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. This is why you shouldn't be fighting people. Because everybody be like, oh yeah, you soft if you don't fight. You soft if you don't fight. Okay. You see, Brody tried to fight bro. And then what ended up happening? He ended up getting stabbed. You feel me? That's the reason. It's like, if you don't fight, bro, nowadays, bro, that means you're smart. Trying to fight nowadays just means you got a pride problem, and that pride problem might get you unalived. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. But you can't fight nobody no more, because it's like if someone lose, they gon' try to unalive you, right? If they got something up on them. And nowadays, everybody got something up on them.
On the hearing of Usher's death, his father nearly collapsed with shock and had to take medication, while his daughter had to receive counselling. Now Lewis, who arrived in the UK from Jamaica aged 14, said he was paranoid most of the time about being attacked, and had been robbed 5 times prior in only 4 years. He was carrying a knife and wearing a stab-proof vest, and argued he acted in self-defense. He never met...
You'll be surprised. Them people in New York, they be squabbling still. Cali, they be squabbling still. Someone in New York literally came up in the chat talking about he was trying to fight me and all that. I'm like, bro, you trying to fight in 2024, but certain states, I guess they still be squabbling.
Usher before he said he didn't recognize him nor know his name. Kevin Lewis was found guilty of manslaughter and only sentenced to 5 years. The sentencing brought more misery to Usher's father, who said he had no faith in the criminal justice system after the verdict on his son's killer.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That's diabolical, bro. That song sounded like it was diabolical, but getting 5 years for catching the body, bro, is crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. You might as well just let the man just be out of jail, bro, if you just gonna give him 5 years. Because 5 years not gonna do nothing. It's not gonna change nothing. It ain't gonna change his mindset for real. If anything, it's just gonna make him just be smarter when he get out of jail, so he won't get locked up again. But if you gonna give him 5 years, bro, you might as well just let him be out of jail, because he ain't gonna have to serve all that time, though, is he? He not even gonna have to serve the full 5 years. So it's like, come on now.
Surrounding the murder by young people in the area had blamed a different gang for the murder, whilst Mega was in hospital being treated for chest and arm wounds. N18 gang members were being blamed by Dem African. There was a lot of distrust between the two sides, and Dem Africans began attacking Grey Gang. Edmonton gang relationships became more volatile. It was no longer Edmonton, it was clearly N9, Dem Africans, versus N18, Grey Gang and the Red Brick areas. Now back to GMG, Get Money Gang, the new offshoot of the Black Gang. See, in the early days they were often targeted by members of DA who travelled up to Island Village to rob members of the Black Gang. The younger generation of DA, Young Dem Africans, carried on this trend, and the rivalry between the two areas grew. A number of stabbings have taken place between the two rival gangs from 2008 onwards, although many failed to make headlines unless they were fatal, of course. Chaos. GMG was caught lacking on a bus stop and rushed by DA members. Get Money Gang members retaliated for this by stabbing up Caution pretty.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't even got no ops, and I don't even like to take the bus. I ain't going back. I mean, in high school we had to take the bus, but I'd rather just walk, just because it's like, boy, people be getting caught lacking at the bus stops, and you standing near the bus stop while someone getting caught lacking. You caught lacking too?
Badly. And in the late 2009, a Crime Watch appeal showed the exact footage of the knife attack capturing GMG members stabbing a DA member at Edmonton Green bus station.
Around 10 PM on a Thursday night in April, and these cameras pick up a chase between two groups of youths in Edmonton, North London. The 20-strong group is hunting down a member of a rival gang, and as they run through the bus station, they finally catch up with him. The attackers are armed with baseball bats and knives, and they set about their victim in a ferocious attack, stabbing him 19 times. Remarkably, he survived, but the gang who did this need to be caught. There's a £10,000 reward for information leading to the conviction of the attackers. So help end this senseless violence.
A string of attacks continued to happen, mainly from Edmonton sides. They were simply the strongest.
I'm trying to figure out how the bro survived from 19 stab wounds, though. And it's like, bro, I thought, like, I guess it depends on what they was using. But 19, well, it is someone that survived getting shot 35 times, so I guess that's not that crazy. Getting stabbed 19 times and survive.
Side as they were older and had a lot more members. The GMG crew, made up mostly of young teenagers, were urged by their older Black Gang members such as G-Man to forget about their conflicts with the Edmonton Gang and to concentrate on making money, which goes with the theme, Get Money Gang. See, DA youngers would glide to Albany Park where they would spot Chaos again for the second time. This time D-Rose, Tiny and Negus will stab him up viciously and then proceeded to dash him in a river. Thankfully, Chaos survived. However, the attack was so savage that he ended up losing a toe in the process. See, Chaos...
He lost a toe? How did you lose a toe? That's crazy. Wait, am I hearing this right?
Was so savage that he ended up losing a toe in the process.
No, I heard it right. He lost a toe. That's crazy.
See, Chaos's brother Ninja would hear of the news. Enraged, he rounded up a few GMG members and they retaliated by stabbing up Sweeps. But he didn't stop there. Sadly, on the 10th of April 2011, GMG members including Ninja, Shadow, Chaos, Birdie, to name a few, decided to glide on bicycles to Edmonton, where they spotted Negus with his brother.
Sliding on the ops with bicycles. You see, this is why they say New York is just the America version of UK. Because New York be doing that same stuff too, and we be like, bro, why are y'all sliding on the ops with mopeds and bicycles and stuff? Well, no, New York is not that bad. Actually, I take that back. The UK is more diabolical than New York, because New York, I don't think they sliding with the pedal bikes. Y'all sliding with pedal bikes, which is crazy to me. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's one thing to slide with a motorcycle, but y'all slide with pedal bikes? That's wild.
One evening in April 2011, members of the Enfield EN3 Get Money gang cycled south into N9. Their mission, to attack Negus McLean, who was a member of the rival Dem Africans or DA gang.
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. This don't look intimidating at all, bro. Like, they just riding around on bikes, bro. That make me mad, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I might... You feel me? I don't know about that. Like, bro, why did you ride around on bikes like that, bro? That would have made me mad. Y'all cutting through traffic and stuff, messing up traffic and stuff, because y'all want to be on these bicycles pedaling around.
Then they spotted their target.
Negus and his brother were chased into this street, but then they both came off their bikes. Negus said to his little brother, "Run and don't look back," and he was able to make his way to safety down there. But then the gang caught up with Negus and attacked him. They stabbed him with such ferocity that the blade snapped off the knife.
Dang, I ain't gonna lie to you. It was like one of those movies, Heat. I ain't gonna make it. Go on without me. And that's what real life happened.
Negus McLean died that night in hospital. The family spoke of their grief on the BBC's Crime Watch.
Ninja, Shadow and Chaos all beat this case. On the evening of April 1st, 2013, members of the Edmonton group, DA, including Nat Nice, gathered in Bouncers Road. In Edmonton, a dark Vauxhall Corsa drove past in which Chicken and Shadow of the Enfield gang were riding. Nat Nice and the others gave them a chase. Nat Nice then left and returned later with a bag containing a sawn-off shotgun and ammunition. 10 minutes later, a black BMW arrived. Shadow and Chicken both got out and began walking towards the Best Kebab shop in Bouncers Road. They were followed by members of the Edmonton gang, before Nat Nice calmly put down the bag and fired at Chicken, who was unarmed, before chasing him down and shooting him again.
Dang.
Chicken's brother Shadow from the BMW ran across and pointed his gun at Nat Nice's group, but for whatever reason, it did not fire. Most likely it jammed. He got back into it.
And it probably did jam, just because you see lots of these street dudes, bro, they don't know about guns for real. They don't be knowing what they be doing. They just think, oh yeah, I could just put one in the head, pull the trigger, and it's going to be fine. It's going to go bang every time. No, you got to maintain it. Just you know, lots of stuff build up inside your gun. If you put it inside your pants and all that, just letting it sit around, like stuff and dust build up in there. And the more it build up, the more your stuff, you feel me, will start messing up and stuff. So you got to maintain your stuff. Make sure it's good.
His car and drove off. Chicken, who had been hit in the chest, collapsed in the alleyway between Bouncers Road and the car.
Glocks? Yeah, Glocks jam. But it really just depends on the situation. The reason why people like Glocks is because, it jam less than other guns. Don't mean it ain't gonna jam though. They still be jamming and stuff though. They just jam less than other guns. But other guns be good too. For the most part, I feel like certain guns, like cheaper guns, you gotta be more on top of maintenance compared to a Glock. I feel you don't gotta be on top of the maintenance as much with the Glock. And that's why they be thinking, oh yeah, Glocks just don't be jamming. But over time, it will start jamming if you don't maintain it the right way.
Chicken sadly died at the scene. Just 2 years prior, on the same month, Shadow was involved.
A revolver, I would say, one of my first blicks was a revolver. But the thing is with a revolver and stuff, revolvers do be having malfunctions. That's what people don't know. Revolvers can have malfunctions too. And when a revolver have them, it's just less likely. But when a revolver have a malfunction, you ain't gonna be able to fix it like fixing like a malfunction with, you know, a Glock or something. And also with a revolver too, that's more so like you knowing what you going to go slide on your target. I feel like they ain't really more so like just an everyday carry nowadays, just because you feel me, it's so much stuff going on. People sliding with 10 people at a time now. 10 people at a time running up on people. So now it's like you gotta have more stuff in there. Y'all gotta understand. In situations in self-defense, bro, you think you're gonna be able to do this and that, and it might not play out like that. You might think you a marksman and you can hit your target like dead eye or a dead shot, and then you end up missing. And you don't want to miss shots when you got a revolver. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Involved in a murder that saw his op witness his brother die right before his eyes, and now he himself witnessed the same thing. Nat Nice was sentenced to 27 years for murder. One of the members present with Nat Nice at the scene was Tiny. He managed to beat the case. See, Shadow was mourning, furious at the death of his brother. He spent the following week shooting up Edmonton. Lurking was pretty much a 9-to-5 job to him. However, his bloodthirsty intentions were stopped in his tracks when he was caught by police in the Enfield area. See, Shadow was actually banned from entering Enfield because of his known gang affiliation and the high risk of violence if he returned. These conditions were put in place after he was convicted of affray, violent disorder and possession of a knife in the London riots back in 2011. Shadow was now sent to Feltham Younger Offenders Institution and after relocated in a whole new city, the city of Leicester. Shadow settled in Leicester and began doing the only thing he knew, selling drugs. He gained a lot of local enemies for selling in their territory, and on the 12th of September 2013, Shadow had an altercation with a dealer named Ants. Sadly ended with Shadow stabbing Ants to death. Just a few hours after the fatal stabbing of Ants, his friends got a word of the sad news. Angry, they tried to avenge his death by petrol bombing the home of one of Shadow's friends, Abdul Karim, but they mistakenly targeted a house just 2 doors away.
Petrol bombing? I don't even know what that means, but looking at it, it looked like I don't want that done to my house. And it's crazy, bro. If you out here doing stuff like that, bro, you gotta make sure that you know that that's the person that you trying to do it to. Cause you feel me? You can't be making those type of mistakes when you doing things to people's life. Because if you unalive an innocent person, then the person that you want to get unalive still gonna be alive, and you gonna be in jail for someone that you didn't want to unalive. You feel me? So make sure we don't condone anything in this educational documentary. We don't condone anything at all. These people out here, bro, this house, like, bro, it's no point of you using this type of artillery, this type of firepower. There's no need for this at all, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. You just destroying your own community.
Killing the 47-year-old wife of a surgeon and his 3 children, aged 19, 17 and 15. What a tragic event. Just imagine being away from your family, working as a surgeon who spends his life working to save lives, only to find out your whole family were killed in a house fire because of some senseless gang violence that you nor they had anything to do with. 2 men responsible for the mistaken arson attack were sentenced to 35 and 25 years minimum, while 6 others were sentenced to manslaughter.
Bro, that's not enough time. That's not enough time. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You telling me 25? They unalive basically this man's whole family. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's like life in prison. That's like life in prison type of stuff, bro. I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. Even though you didn't plan to do it to that house, it's the wrong house. You still plan to do that to somebody. I feel, nah, bro. That's crazy, bro. That's diabolical. Only getting 25.
Shadow was also found guilty for the murder of Ants and was sentenced to 22 years. You see, from one altercation on Kent Road between Shadow and Ants, and look at the impact it had on many lives, both civilians and gang members. Come 2015, and things changed in Enfield. Them Africans were no longer a thing, and a new generation replaced them. 900 came into play. A1 from the 9, a notorious member who later became a pioneer in the UK drill scene, would rep them. Original 9 boys would also appear. Another gang that came into play, notorious member Tion Wayne, who would also soon make a name for himself musically, rep them. The same thing with GMG. Fresh new talent were emerging, such as Pokey, the creator of the Anything Green Get Bun trend that you now see OFB adopt. He'll later also drop some big drill classics.
I never heard of that trend, bro. This how I know I'm not a UK resident, bro, because he said that trend. I'm like, that's not a trend to me. I don't even know what you talking about, brother.
And his rivalry with A1 from the 9 became viral. The beef with GMG continued as usual. We thank God that despite this, from then until today, no one has died from these two sworn rivals going at it. Sadly, despite this fact, lives were still lost to some of the most brutal and strange circumstances. Forward to 2016, it was business as usual for Chaos and Ninja. They run a lucrative drug business in North London and were making serious money. Police threw a spanner in their works when Chaos was convicted on the 15th of July 2016 for plotting to transfer a Scorpion submachine gun and a pistol. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison. Unfortunately, just after a few months, on 18th of October 2016, Chaos had a row of a Congolese man over a package that contained drugs and phones on G-Wing. During the argument, Chaos was heard saying, "Listen, if you want war, I'll give you war." The following day, 3 men approached Chaos. Despite Chaos being armed with a knife, he was outnumbered, stabbed fatally, and then thrown over the railing of a 5th floor landing.
Now that sounds like a fatality. I ain't gonna bap to you.
The sad thing is, Chaos had just become a father. The 3 men involved were tried at a court for murder, where they brought up the fact Chaos had a knife, his gang history of being involved in the murder of niggas, and a list of other charges throughout his life to vilify him as a dangerous man. This swung the jury, and in doing so, all 3 men were acquitted of murder. This was the second time a GMG member had lost a brother in the beef. Come 2017, Ninja was the boss of AP, which stood for Albany Park. United the Allied Hoods and was dubbed the landlord. He was also a bona fide millionaire who would for some reason stick around the ends, riding in his luxury cars and overseeing things. Prominent AP members included Django.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like, bro, I know you wanna, once you start getting money, you wanna be flashy and all that stuff. But if you're not making legal money, being flashy, the only thing that's gonna do is just gonna get you locked up. The police gonna get to looking at you. Hey, why is he driving a car that's nicer than mine? Then they gonna get to doing research on you because they already want you to be doing something wrong so they can lock you up. They be like, oh yeah, he don't got no job. Yep, locking him up. I ain't gonna bap to you.
Django, Skiz, Skanks, etc. Tiny, the guy who beat the chicken murder, would also become a boss and form 3x3. He was in control of a new generation of youngsters who were desperate to make a name for themselves. A1 from the 9 would be caught with a knife and sentenced to 2 years in prison. And after that, he was unjustly deported to the country he was born in, Germany. The justice system thought it was fair to throw a man in a country where, according to him, he had no friends, family, and didn't even speak the native language on the pretext that he was dangerous. Now come the...
Being homeless in Germany? That's crazy. Like, how do you even end up in a different country being homeless that you can't even speak in? That's crazy.
End of the year, Skanks had been using one of his fiends' houses as a bando. On December 21st, 2017, Skanks was sleeping in a bando. The fiend was itching for drugs, knowing he didn't have any money. Skanks had drugs as well as money on him. While Skanks peacefully slept, the man whacked him with a hammer. This didn't finish off Skanks, so he ran into the kitchen, came back with a 16cm long knife and repeatedly stabbed Skanks until he died. He took the drugs and money and proceeded to wrap his body in a black and red duvet with plastic bags over his head. He then placed the body in a loft. Skank's family contacted the police after he had been missing for a while. Not only was the young man brutally murdered, but his body had been hidden, which put Skank's family through the anguish of not knowing where he was. It was the hope that kept them up at night. Now, anyone who has ever seen street videos and those who deal with fiends, you always see them get very violent with them. We've all come across these videos feeling sorry for them, but maybe there's method in the madness. Maybe it's these antics that creates fear in the fiend's head that will stop him from attacking you, or even the idea ever coming across their minds.
Yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. If you let a fiend think it's one of those, bro, they most definitely gonna, oh yeah, try to get over on you, bro. You gotta have them thinking like, yeah, if I mess with him, it's not gonna go well. So if they get any thought it could go well, they most definitely gonna do it, especially if they're going through withdrawals. And when they're going through withdrawals, they probably ain't gonna care. They'll still just crash out even though they know you like that.
Things are more dangerous than a fiend who needs his fix. Mr. Hopkins, the fiend that brutally killed Skanks, later to threaten to kill another drug dealer, saying, "I've done it before, he's in the loft." His big mouth will get him caught. After 8 months, a tip from a friend of Hopkins would allow the police to inspect his house, where he would find Skanks' body. Damn. It was in a condition where it was badly decomposed and infested with insects. Mr. Hopkins was found guilty of murder. This was the second time a GMG AP member died in brutal fashion, and the second time he had nothing to do with the Edmonton Ops. Over the next few years, a new generation of AP and 3x3 members were scoring on each other. Thankfully, nothing fatal occurred. However, on the 19th of March 2020, Abdullahi Mahmood, aka Ninja, walked into Bagel King in Enfield to buy some food. Present in the shop with him were Django, K1 and T Rose. However, what he didn't know was the location was given to TJ, who repped Southgate. See, Southgate is a set that had no connection to their ops Edmonton. In fact, it said they had growing tension with Ninja's ops. Many believed TJ had personal beef with Ninja. Some speculated he wanted to take Ninja's lucrative position. See, Ninja was known as the landlord for a reason. Outside of respect from his hood, he was linked to some big boy drug importers. It's rumored that he even caught a body with some of them. TJ entered the Bagel King with a pistol, instantly fired 4 shots which missed his targets. Ninja attempted to flee through the back door of the restaurant and into the large yard.
You seeing this, but I told you why you wouldn't want to have that revolver. You see, it could be a situation like that where you end up missing like 4 or 5 shots. Nah, you only got like 1 shot left, bro. And if they got blick, you don't want to, you feel me, have 1 shot left.
Of garages to try and escape. Ninja and his friends attempted to scale a wall. TJ followed and fired 1 last shot, which went through Ninja's arm and straight into his forehead. Despite this, Ninja had enough adrenaline to scale another wall before he eventually collapsed on the floor. TJ looked over the wall and aimed the gun at Ninja's friends, but decided not to shoot, and he made his way back from the front of the shop. Medics attempted to save Ninja, but despite their best efforts, he died in hospital. In a bid to provide himself with an alibi, TJ had phoned his friend Alex and kept the line open during the period of the shooting. Police saw through this later though into the investigation and charged his friend with attempting to pervert the court of justice. TJ was sentenced to 27 years minimum in prison. This death was a huge blow to AP. Their boss who united their ends was gone, and once again they lost a member. Tiny, the guy who witnessed the death of Chicken all the way back in 2013, would have issues with a man named Christopher George. Some speculate and claim it was regarding money issues, but this could be a case of Chinese whispers. Whatever the case was, on the 29th of July 2020, Tiny and 3 members would spot Christopher on 4th Street and had followed him in 2 vehicles, an Audi and a BMW, watching him for a period of time until Roshane Watson, aka Tiny, would shoot him in the chest at close range.
Who made this cover art? I hope he didn't make this cover art. I think the gang probably made this cover art and he just took it. I'm like, well, I know you didn't just make this cartoon specifically for this video.
Detectives from the Met Specialist Crime Command Unit spent hours trawling CCTV footage, leading them to suspect Watson. He was seen wearing the same tracksuit as the murder as he wore in a Joe music video that had been uploaded to YouTube in the previous month. He was also caught wearing the same tracksuit on CCTV the day before the murder. And a body-worn video from a police stop on July 9th showed he was wearing the same trainers as the gunman. Tiny was found guilty and sentenced to 32 years. See, the thing about the street is the unpredictability of it. You are truly rolling the dice, but the stakes are your...
Yeah, bro. We don't condone anything inside these educational documentaries. Why? Because it only got two options: being unalived or in jail. And you don't want none of those, you feel me? So, now that you know about what's going on inside the UK, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe so you don't never miss out on any educational, informational documentaries like this. Ain't gonna back. Hold on. Chat. I gotta clean up some stuff that the dogs fucked up. I gotta clean up some shit that the dogs fucked up. If I don't fall asleep, I'm gonna hop back on live when I get done doing this stuff, man. And then I gotta let them outside, the other dogs and shit. You feel me? I appreciate everyone that tuned into this live stream. I'm for sure gonna hop on live though. If I fall asleep, I'm gonna be up. Instead of hopping on TikTok, I'm gonna be up on live since I had to do this. But yeah, I gotta get this done. Appreciate everyone that tuned in. Y'all the real goats, and I'm gonna be